The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
G-Man.
Inspirational, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeau.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Pitch Talk proudly presents a full sit-down interview with a level 5 referee operating in the Southern Amateur League and more. For 2 years, he was club secretary for a football club in Burn Oak. In April 2015, he was elected AFA Youth Council Chairman. His aims include having input on development and more.
To ask Darrell a question during our special interview, email pitchtalk@gmail.com and put Darrell David in the subject line. Pitch Talk meets Darrell David. Coming soon.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeau.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher,
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of MLS FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeau.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of IBIS FC.
I'm Samir Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Jazzy Fizzle, I have a question.
What's the question?
What time is it?
Well, looking at my Sony, it's about that time where you say,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat.
the pitch is where we sleep.
And of course, the pitch is where we talk for the next 3 hours. And that voice really hurts my throat. So I'm going to have to stop doing it. It really does actually hurt the throat, so I'll stop. But www.pitch-talk.com is the official website where instead of stopping, you can start finding out about everything Pitch Talk. See the segue there? Nicely done. Anyway, not that pat myself on the back. I've dislocated my shoulder.
Or giving yourself a self-high five.
Let's not go down that road, at least not this early in the show. Anyway, couple round and we'll strike one. But anyway, it is a case of www.pitch-talk.com is the official website to find out about everything Pitch Talk. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will bring you to blogs by yours truly, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many others. You can hear the phone switching on. 07535 804 466 is that mobile number. 07535 804 466. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you're going to text, leave your name at the end of the text so we can shout you out during the show. Also, youtube.com/pitch talk is where you can find all of our videos, including Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC, July 11th, 2015. Myself, the G-Man, and Jazzy Fizzle got to witness history, the birth of a football club. Not just a men's team, but a women's team as well. Hackney Wick FC. Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC. We spoke to the movers and shakers at the club. We got to speak to chairman of the club, and that is Miss Rana Brightman, aka Rana Banana. We also got to chat to Mr. Bobby Kasanga as well, the founder of Hackney Wick FC. We also got to chat to two men in search of the beautiful game. Those two men being Tom Sparks and Daniel Magna as well. We got to chat to them whilst we were down there. Got to chat to a few other people. We actually bumped into Dave McLaughlin from Alexandra Park FC and the first team coach at Alexandra Park FC as well, Mr. John Morris. So we got to bump into them too. Also, we did speak to a couple of players as well, Miss Anna Locke and Lauren Roberts as well. So big shouts to them. Big time shout outs to everybody at Hackney Wick FC as well. We had a lot of fun on July 11th, seeing the birth of a club. It was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed it. So it was one of them. Big time shout outs obviously to our third co-host, to G-Man, who is there as well, but he can't make it tonight. But he says he'll be back next week. So good stuff. But also, Jazzy Fizzle, where are we gonna be at? Where are we gonna be at on Saturday? I can't wait.
Well, we're going to be back down Wembley Way.
You damn right.
And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm hoping that a certain very special someone will be on their way down there as well, because it's been a meeting that I've been hoping to have for a very long time.
You're going to need to elaborate on where we're going with this.
I'm talking about Scotty.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm bringing carrots and carrot cake.
That carrot cake is terrible. You know, carrot cake, most of it's not real carrots.
Just saying, you know, like that's my dude right there.
Oh, but no, it is one of them was. Yeah, we are actually going to be meeting Girls on the Ball down on Wembley Way. Sophie and Rachel of Girls on the Ball. Hopefully, Scotty will be making an appearance as well.
Because, like I said, I got the carrots.
You got the carrots. We'll have the cameras down on Wembley Way too. It'll be Pitch Talk at the SSE FA Women's Cup final on Saturday. We'll be down there on Wembley Way, and we'll be in Wembley as well. So it is one of them ones. We are going to have a lot of fun, but it is one of them ones where cannot wait for it. You've seen via Twitter, we've got the tickets, and we ready to go. All we need to do is charge them batteries, and we all good. But it is all of us. Cannot wait. I said we're going to be meeting Girls on the Ball down there as well. So big shout out to them at Girls on the Ball on Twitter, facebook.com/Girls on the Ball and girlsontheball.com. Also, big time shout outs to Motivate Sports and Fitness. That is at Motivate SF on Twitter, and also motivatesportsandfitness.com and facebook.com/Motivate Sports and Fitness. Give them a find. It is one of them ones. Also two men in search of the beautiful game at Beautiful Game 15 on Twitter, beautifulgame2015.blogspot.co.uk, and also two men in search of the beautiful game on Facebook. Give them a look. Also hackneywickfc.com as well, and at hackneywickfc on Twitter, and also facebook.com you can find Hackney Wick FC as well. Big time shout outs. God, the last few weeks have been amazing, and we've got even more to come. We want them ones, man. August 1st, 2015, we'll be at Wembley once again. And down on Wembley way, baby, once again, baby. Getting that season. It's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. But, Jazzy Fizzle, how's your week and weekend been?
Yeah, week and weekend's been good, man. Can't complain, you know what I mean? I'd say God is great all the time and life is good. So, really can't complain. And you know what? Mike, no, it's not one of those future kids that I'm always talking about. I just want to throw that out there because there hasn't been a Jazzy Fizzle Sizzle tour in your area.
But it could happen in the future.
I'm just saying, okay, that you need to contact GLG and JE Promotions.
That's Jenny. That's Jennifer Evans Promotions, aka Jennifer Evans Entertainment, baby. Big shouts to Jennifer Evans.
You got to contact them in order for that to happen. But you know what? I have to say, shout out to my ex-wife. Love you, baby. Shout out to my next wife. Love you, baby. Shout out to my future kids as well. Daddy loves you. And you know what? Shout out to the enemy. Shout out to the frenemies. And you know what? God first. God bless everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of the footballing revolution we're working so hard to create. Thank you to everybody in and around Hackney Wick FC, because you know what? Without you guys, there would not be a pitch talk on the road over there at Mabley Green, you know, with us witnessing the birth of greatness, essentially, in Hackney Wick FC, not just the men's team, but the ladies' team, and of course, the future of Hackney Wick FC. A couple of the youth that we saw after proceedings, you know, hopefully they go on to be future Wickers.
Hopefully so.
Come on, you Wickers.
Who said shout out to Mike's wife? Oh Lord.
What?
Who's gonna
you know what does this? You know what does this? But you know what? Extra special shout out to my good friend Sherry over there in Florida. Thank you so much for being tuned in. Princess Bella, love you, baby. And of course, everybody else that's locked in and locked on. Daniela and Gurav up there in Canada. Thank you so much. And of course, all of our fans across the globe, because we're international, baby. International.
I'm sorry. I just find that.
Yeah, it's not just the Sizzle Fizzle tour that's international, man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it gets better every single week. The Sizzle Fizzle tour is on the way, baby. It's on the way. Just hold on, and it will be there soon. It'll be there soon. I just personally love the way there's shout outs to the ex-wife, to the next wife, and to Mike's wife. I love that. It was tremendous because, well, all I'm saying is you gotta watch out because
this girl sent me this picture of a little baby, and it was in a town that I'd never been in before. And she sent me this picture. She said, "This is your baby." And the baby looked like a pigeon with a spiked hairdo. I swear to God. I told her that ain't my baby. And she said, "No, but you was there with me. You remember that night."
I said, "Look, Jazzy, go get have a joke, but everybody."
You know what? No, before we move on, right? We will move on, okay? Russ has asked, is the Jazzy Fizzle Sizzle tour coming to Yorkshire? All I'm saying is this, yeah? Contact GLG, contact JE Promotions and Productions, and we'll get that sorted out. It's been
bookings are being taken.
I'm telling you, man, all through 2016. I'm just saying that, you know, it's been a long time since we've seen a few white roses. So, yeah, you know, we could make it over to Yorkshire.
White roses? What's this? The Tudors and Stewarts?
I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, Lancashire
knows
knows all about the Sizzle Fizzle tour. And, you know, maybe it's time.
Maybe it's Vader time. Oh, sorry, Jazzy time.
It's time! It's time! It's Jazzy time! No. No, but yeah. Russ, like I say, get in contact with GLG Promotions, Inc., and of course JE Promotions as well. It's a co-product shizzle, and we'll get something sorted out for you. All right.
It is one of them ones though. Also remember twitter.com/pitch talk at pitch talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Also, Pitch Talk 1 on Skype as well. Also, Pitch Talk Live on Google Plus. Add us to your circles. Add us to your circles. We are live. We are as live can be. Remember this.
And
show,
just to let you know, right? If you're over in Peterborough, hey, Sizzle Fizzle Tour coming to you March 2016.
The Peterborough Massive, yeah. Oh, it was just Peterborough, just out of nowhere. It'll be
Peterborough and Stevenage. What's happening?
All for the posh. Love it. But it is one of them was where it is about that time for us to get this show very much seasoned and on the road. Because why? Because it is time to go into some
General talking points.
wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We're currently live with your Monday Night Footballing fix. Jenny Bizzle, the G-Man, and straight shooting LJA. The singing might be bad, but the football is why you stay. Cause this is Pitch Talk. Don't ask where that comes from. Even I don't know where that comes from. Anyway, Curveball Rattle Mill Strike 1. Speaking of the complete opposite of Curveball Rattle Mill Strike 1, transfers. Where we're going to start from today, Monday 27th of July 2015. The same day that Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC got released, Didier Drogba signed for Montreal Impact. Former Chelsea striker Didier Drogba has signed for Major League Soccer side Montreal Impact. The 37-year-old left Stamford Bridge this summer after playing 381 games and winning 4 Premier League titles across 2 spells with the London club. Drogba is the Ivory Coast's all-time top scorer with 65 goals in 105 international appearances. Montreal President Joey Saputo said the signing made it one of the biggest days in the club history. He added, "It's an honor to welcome Didier Drogba to the Impact." Drogba will be a designated player at the Canadian side, which means his wages will not be restricted by the MLS salary cap. Montreal Impact, MLS member since 2012, finished bottom of the table last season. Drogba follows former Chelsea teammate in moving to the North American League, with the 37-year-old having joined New York City. Now, Ibrahim Affelay, a player who some of us had really high hopes for at one point, but Ibrahim Affelay has signed for Stoke City, the 4th Barcelona player to join the club. The 29-year-old joins the Potters on a free transfer after ending his 4.5-year stay at the Nou Camp. He made just 9 starts for the Catalans, spending last season on loan at Greek side Olympiacos following a previous temporary stay at Schalke. The 50 times capped Affelay has become Stoke's 8th summer signing. So their summer signings have been Moha El Oriachi from Barcelona, Shay Given from Aston Villa, Jacob Holgard from FC Midgetland. Yes, the team is called Midgetland. But it's one of Glenn Johnson from Liverpool, Josuelu from Hanover 96, Philip Washade from Bayer Leverkusen, Marco van Ginkel from Chelsea on loan, and Ibrahim Affelay from Barcelona as well. For transfer news, Jordan Ayew So one of them was, we tweeted out about this earlier, but Jordan Ayew completes his move from Lorient. Aston Villa have signed Ghana striker Jordan Ayew on a 5-year deal for an undisclosed fee. The 23-year-old who joins from Lorient in France's league. What league is that, Jesse? AKA Rick Ross's favorite league. Held his country to second place at the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations. Ayew's arrival follows Villa's summer acquisition of fellow league players Jordan Amavi and Idrissa Gueye. Now, another transfer from today. We were just about to get onto that, actually, as Russ Vernon posted it in. Sean Wright-Phillips joins brother at New York Red Bull. Sean Wright-Phillips will sign for New York Red Bulls and will join his younger brother Bradley Wright-Phillips at the Major League Soccer club. The 34-year-old winger, who made 36 England appearances, has made the move following nearly 4 years at QPR. He also had spells at Manchester City and Chelsea and made 299 Premier League appearances. He has been training here with seen as professionalism, Red Bulls head coach Jesse Marsh said. We think he is a tremendous addition both on the field and as a veteran presence in our locker room. I love the fact that Sean Wright-Phillips is 33 when he still looks about 12 with and his moustache, his kind of beard goatee thing looks kind of painted on. Anyway, moving on. Harry Kewell was appointed on the 23rd of July 2015 as Watford's under-21 coach. Former Liverpool lead striker Harry Kewell has been appointed as Watford's under-21 coach. Kewell, who's 36, who played for Galatasaray and won 56 caps for Australia, retired last year and has been running a youth academy in his home country of Australia. Watford sporting director Luke Dowling said he now has a proven track record when it comes to working with and nurturing young footballers. His knowledge and experience will be of great benefit to the club. And the final transfer that we're going to go through, Alexander Mitrovic. Newcastle United signed Anderlecht striker. Newcastle have signed Anderlecht striker Alexander Mitrovic for £13 million, subject to a work permit. The Serbian international, who's 20, has signed a 5-year deal with Steve McLaren Shide. He becomes Newcastle United's second signing of the summer window, following the £14.5 million arrival of PSV midfielder Georgino Wijnaldum as well. Jesse, before we throw this out, and I have my opinion on it, Jesse, thoughts on those transfers so far?
Give me just a second.
Curveball round and strike one.
This section of the show is brought to you by Fox's Chunky Cookies, the milk chocolate variety.
What are you going to say, Glacier Mix? Or Glacier?
No.
Glacier. WCW program.
No.
Blood
Fox's
run.
Chunky Cookies, man.
Blood
If you don't know about those, get to know. Anyway, let's get on to the transfers. Mitrovic, I think, is a solid move. I really do. I think he's one of the brightest young forward talents in Europe at the moment, and I think he's going to the right place where he's going to get a fair bit of playing time, and I think if Steve can go and bring everything together, Newcastle's attack could be quite tidy this season. So, I'm a fan of that move. Speaking of moves that I'm a fan of, I have to say Sean Wright-Phillips going and joining his brother in America, good move. It's about keeping the family together. And of course him having a bit of a swan song going towards, I suppose, the tail end of his career now. I was surprised that he was actually with QPR all of those 4 years. I mean, how many appearances did he make in those 4 years?
I think it was 299. I think he was one of 300 in terms of his Premier League appearances. Yeah, Premier League appearances.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I was just curious as to how many appearances he made for QPR, because as far as I remember, most of the games where I watched QPR, he was either on the bench or not in the squad. So, I think in terms of him getting regular playing time, let's say being close to his brother, so on and so forth, it'd be good for him. And I think, the team is right, the coach is right when they talk about having an experienced veteran player that can help, in the locker room and on the training ground. So, I think overall it's a good move. Speaking of other good moves to the MLS, Didier Drogba.
Or as we like to, or as like we in the Galatasaray fans had to say, Didier Drogba, la 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 la, Didier Drogba, la 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 la.
Yeah.
Well, that is definitely one of those you had to be there moments, because I think I posted that in a group on Facebook and people were like, I don't get it. That's not funny. It's like,
it's not.
You really
funny. Like
it's like,
you're there and you understand it, or
you're
heard
an
about
idiot.
it and you understand it,
or you're an idiot,
or you don't. You know, I'm not going to go and call people names, but I say either you get it or you don't, and if you don't, well, you missed out. It's unfortunate for you. Anyway, going back to that move, I would say, it's good. It's good for him. I think he's going to make a tidy sum anyway. And of course, in terms of the flagship appeal of the league now, obviously, it's got more marketability with another proven international and European star in the league, in Didier Drogba. Obviously, international football legend, African football legend as well. And of course, I think he will have a similar impact to Sean Wright-Phillips in the sense of he's going to be a great player for the dressing room and a great player for the training ground. So, again, I think brilliant move. Harry Kewell, becoming under-21s coach, congratulations to him. I am looking forward to seeing where that goes. If that means that, eventually over the course of, say, the next few years, he will then graduate, shall we say, to reserves or first team, remains to be seen. But I think this is a good point for him and, for the club to have somebody like him helping to develop the young players. You can't really go wrong there. If you want to talk about experience of winning things, he's got that. If you want the experience of being a prominent and important player, he's got that. And of course, to me anyway, he's a national hero. So to have that kind of influential former player on your staff that youngsters will look up to and listen to, very important. Very, very important. And I think it's a very shrewd move. Shrewd move. So, moving on to some of the other deals, I'd have to say one of my favorites is the IU deal, because I didn't see that coming. Personally, I'm surprised that there weren't more teams involved in looking to sign him. But, Aston Villa pulled off a cue there. It's just a matter of, can they make it all fit together? That's my question. Now, obviously, the dressing room, in terms of morale, has taken a big blow. You've had Christian Benteke leave. You've had Fabian Delph leave. The players that's coming in, are they going to be able to hold it all together, shall we say?
Well, they're going to have to pick up some serious slack, aren't they?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And obviously the fans are going to have to be patient because it's all new. It's going to take time to gel. But as I say, in terms of another quality signing, that's what they've got. Can he replace everything that Christian Benteke done? Personally, I don't believe so, because I honestly believe that they're two different types of strikers. But it remains to be seen. And one other signing that I want to talk about that we didn't actually mention is Romero joining Manchester United on a 3-year deal.
Yeah, your new GK, isn't it?
I want to talk about that because I think it's a very shrewd signing. It's a free signing from Sampdoria because the contract expired. And a lot of people are talking about, where is it the potential replacement for David De Gea? David De Gea is going to go, all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing.
Doesn't necessarily
This season, I don't believe it to be the case. The reason why I say that is because of Victor Valdez, right? Who also joined the club on a free transfer and is in the process of leaving, if he hasn't already left, to go to Fenerbahce, right? So with Victor Valdez out the door, in terms of an experienced, well, let's not say number one, but say 1A, or for lack of a better term, I suppose, auxiliary number 2. you're getting a straight replacement there in Romero. Does he have the capability to be a number one? I believe so. He's number one for his national team. So, you know, I think further down the line, if there's a serious injury to David De Gea, and touch wood that doesn't happen, you know, or a severe loss of form, touch wood that doesn't happen, but you have someone who's more than capable and ready to step in. And as I say, on a free, as opposed to, you know, spending some funds on a goalkeeper that, you know, arguably how many games will he play this season, is a very shrewd move. Very, very shrewd move. So I think it's a very good signing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I go with that. I mean, at the end of the day, whenever you do pick up a free transfer, it's always, it's almost always a positive thing. Unless that free sign is crap. But yeah, anyway, at least you can just say, well, it was a free. But I mean, in terms of most of these transfers, I mean, Affelay was a surprise. That was a real surprise.
Yep, it's absolutely huge surprise. Wow. But the thing that I have to say about Affelay, right, is overall, when you look at his potential, and I remember him as a youngster and thinking, oh my God, he's going to tear up football. He's going to be the next Dutch master.
It just never happened.
Since the move to Barcelona, and probably even a little bit before that, he just underwhelmed.
Well, he's completely slipped under the radar. I think injury had a bit to do with it as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm not disputing the injury bit, but in terms of, and it was maybe just me looking at his potential in the editor on Football Manager.
Oh Lord.
And thinking, oh my goodness, is going to be epic.
We are not talking about Cherno Sandbar. We can bugger off with that already.
Or, you know, going and absolutely maxing out his stats through years and years and years of playing in the Master League on Pro Evolution Soccer. You know, I just thought, well, he didn't really live up to that. And maybe I had an elevated hope and dream for him. And maybe that's partly my fault. But yeah, to me, it just didn't work out. But I think when you look at what Stoke are building in terms of the quality players, you have Bojan Krčić coming back from his cruciate ligament injury. And I think he scored in a friendly over the weekend as well, if I remember correctly. You know, they've got some real talented players there.
Yeah. If
he can put his head down, and this is in relation to Affelay, and really get back to the form when he was younger, and I don't necessarily mean him having to go and really set the world alight. That's not it. If he just does the small things in terms of his interlinking play and the build-up play that I'd seen him do many years ago, if he can get back to that, that's going to be in a very effective team with the ball, depending on where he plays. I have a feeling he'll settle into maybe a number 10 role. I don't think they'll use him wide. But, you know, even there, with the eye for a pass that he's got and, you know, his long shot, he will, you know, do some damage from there. And I think, you know, with the likes of Stephen Nzonzi and the Charlie Adam playing just behind him, you know, Nzonzi kind of doing the Yaya Toure bit where he kind of sits for a little while, then he makes a penetrating run.
He snaps into it like a Slim Jim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, Charlie Adam just being there to distribute, as well as, you know, score the odd wonder goal from near the halfway line.
Distribute passes, nothing else. Distribute passes.
So, you know, then it's like, I can really see that working. With that pace of, that turn of pace, with
that turn of pace.
Front, Bojan, you know, I think it's going to be interesting to see how that team performs with him in it. But I think he may be one of the underrated signings of this season if he goes and, as I say, starts to show some of the potential that he had when he was a youngster.
See, that's always the thing, though. So many people, so many players have that potential early on, and for whatever reason, never end up living up to it. And Ibrahim Affelay, it's like that's why it was such a surprise him going to Stoke, because you hadn't heard anything about him in ages. But it's one of them as he's still got the quality there. That's the thing.
Yeah. So I think if he stays injury free, and as I say, just does the simple bits, right? It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Just does the simple bits. He will be a very effective player for Stoke. And once he, grows in confidence in terms of his health and his fitness and everything else, then he starts to add a little bit of the bells and the whistles to his game. Watch out.
Well, the thing is, again with potential, that links me nicely into Sean Wright-Phillips. Going to the MLS to New York Red Bulls. I mean, it's one of them was you got the two Wright-Phillips brothers in the same side now. You got the two AU brothers in the Premier League, all right, albeit for different sides. But it's one of them was the kind of brother tandems. It's a case of in terms of the AUs. I don't know. It's hard to see who's going to do better out of the two. I mean, I could honestly see Andre Ayew doing better out of the two just because Swansea are the better side. And it's one of those I can see Andre doing a bit better there. But, I mean, Jordan Ayew, that's a nice little move for Aston Villa. That is actually a nice little move. I mean,
it's tidy.
Fee, 5-year deal. The Wright-Phillips deal is good for the New York Red Bulls, but not necessarily good for him. As you said, it looks like he's kind of winding down the career already at 33.
Well, here's the thing, right? Was he getting the regular game time at QPR?
But
no,
did he
right?
deserve that game time?
He was down.
No.
He was down the pecking order behind Phillips and even Junior Hoylett, who was kind of in and out of the side, right? So I think it just wasn't working. That's the best way to put it. In terms of him getting regular playing time, it just wasn't working.
Yeah. But as a player,
right?
You've got to force that issue and make it work. I mean, like Harry Kewell in his playing career made it work in fits and starts. It's good at Leeds, pretty good at Liverpool when he was fit. That was the thing. He was electrifying when he was fit, but that was all too rare. And yeah, I was calling him the gutless wonder after that Champions League final. But I mean, taking him on as under 21 coach, smart move by Watford. Watford have done a lot of business during this transfer window. I think they've been busy
tidy business at that.
Yeah, they've been very busy. So they're doing it the smart way. They're getting their business done early and often, and also strengthening the under 21s as well is important for the long-term future of the club. I mean, Newcastle making a couple of moves, not too many big ones, but the Mitrovic, subject to the work permit. Yeah, that's one of them ones. That's not half bad a move along with Wijnaldum. But I think Newcastle really need to start strengthening their backline.
Yeah, I was going to say they need to really look at defense. From what I've come to understand, Fabrizio Colaccini hasn't actually featured at all this preseason, with reported interest from Crystal Palace. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not perpetuating the rumor here, but I just think that with him not really featuring in preseason, it does leave the door open. I mean, he is 33, so he does have arguably another 3 to 4 years left in the tank. But, if he moves, it wouldn't surprise me. And I think that may be the catalyst, as you say, for them looking at the back line. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Steve dipping back into the Eredivisie to find another defender.
Yeah, I think Steve is going to have to. Because at the end of the day, he's already let Gutierrez go. So that,
which was a shock for me.
Yeah. So it's one of them ones. So there's a good two, three defensive players he's let go already. So there's gonna have to be some pretty rapid signings to actually try and close that door, as it were, shut that door.
Either that, or he's got some youth players in mind. So it'd be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got Jack Colback, who can fill in at left back, but his best position is in midfield.
Yeah, you wouldn't want him there too much anyway. I mean, it is. Excuse me. It is one of them ones. I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in on some of these transfers that we mentioned.
Yes, I did, Liam. And first one I would like to mention is about Affelay, who's gone to Stoke City today. I'm just wondering maybe if he managed. I wonder if he spoke to Bojan Krkic first, because he swapped Barcelona for Stoke. Maybe he spoke to him about Stoke first, see what thought of the club, see what thought the direction they were going in, and then decided he liked the idea which the direction was going in, and he was. So I thought, this is the move for me. I didn't really cut to Barcelona last season. Right on loan at Olympiacos, and 29, got a few years left. I've done it in Spain. I'm on about now. I might as well now come to the Premier League, see what I can do in the Premier League, see how different that is from La Liga. So I think that's probably one of the. So I think I might have spotted Bojan Krkic first before joining there. I think.
And Russ, don't forget Mark Hughes. Right? A lot of people kind of forget Mark Hughes' contacts within Barcelona. Right? Don't forget he was there. He used to play for Barcelona. Right? Left that went there and came back. But here's the thing, right? He knows quite a few people. He's well connected, especially with the youngsters. That's why you're seeing so many young players moving from Barcelona to Stoke, because of his influence. And I think maybe he actually spoke to Mark Hughes as well, and Mark Hughes sold him on, as you say, the project that they're working on.
Yeah, I mean,
and of course, the fact that Bojan was there and did so well last season, you know, it's a good advert. Good advert for Stoke.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Also, though, in terms of one I missed out was the Drogba to Montreal Impact. I mean, that's big. That one is big for them, and you never know. He might have had a chat to Lampard, the guys like Lampard and Gerald, and be like, "So what's it been like out there so far?" And
yeah,
hey,
I would say that, along with probably David Beckham. I had a couple of words with him as well. Exactly. But as I said before, I think in terms of the marketability of the league, that's improved massively.
Yeah, it's definitely growing.
Massively with him joining the league. It's a former international superstar. Let's not forget, at one point in time, Didier Drogba was one of the best strikers in the world. Forget Europe.
Definitely.
And for him to join the league that also has David Villa, a former, as I say, European terror and world terror.
Yeah.
The marketing campaign writes itself.
I was going to say, David Villa is essentially like D'Lo Brown, a former European champion. Anyway, at the crowbar.
But he's also a World Cup winner, so I don't know how you're going to make that all work.
Well, kind of like a Triple H and the D'Lo Brown as well. The DX Nation. Anyway, no. Well, it's one of them. DX Nation. I love it. Fully loaded. Great.
Try. Russ, let's have the rest of what you wanted to say on these.
And by the way, big shout out to Lauren Dugan on Twitter, who's tuned in as well. Big shout out. Russ, you want to continue?
Yes, and I think Jordan Wales moved to Aston Villa. I think, like you said, Liam, it was a surprise, but I think he's going to do well for Aston Villa. I think he can do very well there. I think he'll probably signed him as a replacement for Benteke with him moving to Liverpool last week. I think that's probably where they've probably signed him as a replacement for Christian Benteke, in my opinion, Liam. Also, I think the Sean Wright Phillips joining New York Red Bulls and linking up with his Bradley Wright Phillips, I think that'll be a good move for him. I think he's probably been watching the MLS and knows what it's like out there. Apparently, I've been reading what he's been speaking about these Liam and Jesse. He's been out there beginning of last week training with New York Red Bulls, and so I think he knows how the pace of the game works over there. Been watching the games as well, so I think he'll fit in quite well over there. He's a good winger, didn't really cut it to QPR, and I think he'll be a good signing over in the MLS. Also, I just want to wish Eric Hill well at Watford. I think he'll probably do well as the under-21 coach. He probably put his impact from his playing career on into the players at the under-21 level of Watford and get more experience over there with the new Watford manager who's just come in, and people in the Premier League will be up against, get some experience from them, management.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's a good move for Didier Drogba coming towards the end of his career, Liam, as you said. I think it'll be a good move over there. I think he'll do well for Montreal Impact, and they're signing a fantastic player. I think I want to wish Drogba well over in MLS, and I'll keep an eye on how he plays over there, and hopefully can do well and continue his scoring record like he had for Chelsea over there. And I think Mitrović's move to Newcastle, I think that'll be a good one for Newcastle. I think I think he'll probably be a replacement for Mike Williamson, who I've heard reports Tennessee McLaren wants to get rid of him because he's not performed well in pre-season matches, especially yesterday at Sheffield United. We'll wait and see on that.
We'll see on that one, definitely. We'll have to wait and see on that. But funnily enough, in regards to poor performance in pre-season, we got what's up with that moment later on. So stick around for that later on.
Yep, and I think he's a lad just jumped in and mentioned this one earlier. I think it's a good signing for Man United with Romero coming in as a goalkeeper. I'm thinking he'll probably be number 2 this season with De Gea probably moving out at the end of next season, Jezzy. I think De Gea will be your Man United for this campaign, and then that'll be the end of his Man United spell at Old Trafford, and I think he'll probably move on and next season, and Romero will probably come in and be number 1 next season.
It sounds like you're being very hopeful, Russ.
Yeah,
that's what
it
sounds like to me.
Right.
So what I will say to you is this, right? Now, Rafael Benitez has come out this week and he said, or should I say in the last week, he said that Keylor Navas is going to be the new number 1 for Real Madrid, right, for this season. Now, whether or not that goes and picks up again next season remains to be seen. Now, I understand that David wants to return to Spain, so on and so forth. Makes sense to me, right? But the problem is, do I actually foresee him being able to go to Real, if that's where he really wants to go? It's going to be quite difficult, right? Because my Madridistas, right? And I want to say a big hola, como está, to Miss Irene Bonilla, right? Who's also a Madridista as well, to say that, look, it's not going to be that straightforward, okay? There's going to be a lot of difficulty with the fans, especially, right? Because you don't just go from Atletico to Real and vice versa. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, at least not straight there, anyway.
No.
It'd be one of them ones. I mean, Mike Arneman, you've had something interesting to say in the Skype chat about the AU transfer.
Yeah, basically what it was is if he's basically gone out and signed him as a straight replacement for Benteke, obviously moving to Anfield, I think that's a huge risk because they're taking a punt on a player who's not got any Premier League experience at all. So it could go either way. So I think what Tim Sherwood really needs to do is go out and buy Ayo and you know what other players he wants to buy from abroad, but he needs to buy someone with a bit of Premier League experience up front as well to kind of balance it out a bit.
Like a Charlie Austin, for example.
Charlie Austin would be a great one. Even someone like an Adebayor who's on the fringes at Tottenham, you know, someone along those lines.
Well, that's in it. That Charlie Austin one's an interesting one because QPR apparently are looking 15 million for it. So they ain't gonna. They're not gonna want to let him go cheap. That's where it starts to get interesting in terms of that. So.
And the other interesting thing with that whole potential scenario of him going for 15 million is, well, who do they get?
Yeah.
To replace him, right?
Because the Championship ain't no jabroni league. That is competitive.
Yes, it is. So if he leaves, my question is, well, who's behind him in the pecking order?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? All due respect to Bobby Zamora, he's getting on, okay? He won't be able to feature in as many games.
And he's never been that prolific anyway.
What they'll need is a lead dog. That's what they'll need. They'll need a lead dog. And so far, looking at their striking options, I will say to you, they don't have one. So the reason why they're gonna, hold out for, somewhere towards 15 million for Charlie Austin is because, well, look, he's worth that to them just in goals alone.
Yeah.
Right? And he's going to be a very difficult man to replace. Right? Because here's the bit, even if they were to pay about, 6, 7, 8, 9 million out of this potential 15 million if he were to go, right? Here's the thing. 6, 7, 8, 9 million to go to the Championship. Now, this is not me being disrespectful, right? But how many players would be willing for that kind of fee to go to the Championship? Maybe half of that you could say, yeah, okay. But for all of that, listen, you'd want to at least go to what? Third tier Premier League club. At least. at least. So I think while he's a viable option in terms of Premier League experience, as Mike was pointing out, the bigger question mark is who would replace him at QPR. And because there's no out-and-out front runners, for me anyway, I'd say it's more pertinent that they hold on to him than actually try to ship him.
Yeah, no, of course. Although, hey, money, QPR and money worries have been, they've been best friends for the past few years. So, you got that sword of Damocles hanging above the club as well. So, it's one of them ones. But speaking of the word holding, a draw was held. A draw was held back on Saturday, this past Saturday. World Cup 2018, Russia 2018, qualifying draw in full from the 25th of July 2015. So, the draw for the 2018 World Cup qualifying campaign took place in St. Petersburg, Russia, this past Saturday. The FIFA Confederations of Africa, Oceania, South America, CONCACAF, which is North, Central America, and the Caribbean, and Europe were drawn. Qualifying has already started in Asia, which is quite strange. Qualifying has already started there, even though the draw for qualifying only took place on Saturday. But anyway, Global Round on strike one. But Europe, Group A, Holland, France, Sweden, Bulgaria, Belarus, Luxembourg. It's a tasty looking group. Group B, Portugal, Switzerland, Hungary, Faroe Islands, Latvia, Andorra. Group C, Germany, Czech Republic, Northern Ireland, Norway, Azerbaijan, San Marino. Group D, Wales, Austria, Serbia, Republic of Ireland, Moldova, and Georgia. Group E, Romania, Denmark, Poland, Montenegro, or Montenegro as I'd like to call them, Armenia, and Kazakhstan. Group F, England, Slovakia, Scotland, Slovenia, Lithuania, Malta. Group G, Spain, Italy, Albania, Israel, FYR Macedonia, and Liechtenstein. Group H, Belgium, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Greece, Estonia, Cyprus. And Group I is Croatia, Iceland, Ukraine, Turkey, and Finland as well. It is one of them ones. 9 group winners qualify. 8 runners up with the best record against the teams first, third, fourth, and fifth in their groups proceed to the playoffs. Russia automatically qualify as hosts. Now in Africa, you got round 1. You got 2-legged ties to be played on the 5th of October and the 13th of October. You got Somalia versus Niger, South Sudan versus Mauritania, Gambia versus Namibia, Sao Tome Principe versus Ethiopia, Chad versus Sierra Leone, Comoros versus Lesotho, Djibouti versus Swaziland, Eritrea versus Botswana, the Seychelles versus Burundi, Liberia versus Guinea-Bissau, Central African Republic versus Madagascar, Mauritius v Kenya, and Tanzania versus Malawi. Now, round 2, the 2-legged ties to be played on the 9th and 17th of November. Somali or Niger versus Cameroon, South Sudan or Mauritania versus Tunisia, Gambia / Namibia versus Guinea, Sao Tome Principe or Ethiopia versus Congo, Chad or Sierra Leone versus Egypt, Comoros or Lesotho against Ghana, Djibouti / Swaziland versus Nigeria, Eritrea or Botswana versus Mali, Seychelles or Burundi versus Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia / Guinea-Bissau versus the Ivory Coast, one of those two versus the Ivory Coast, Central African Republic / Madagascar versus Senegal, Mauritius / Kenya will play Cape Verde, Tanzania or Malawi will play Algeria, Sudan versus Zambia, Libya versus Rwanda, Morocco versus Equatorial Guinea, Mozambique versus Gabon, Benin versus Burkina Faso, Togo versus Uganda, Angola versus South Africa. The 20 winners from the second round will go into a third round comprising 5 groups of 4. The winners of each group qualify for the World Cup. So it's a bit more complex in Africa. In the CONCACAF region, in the third round of qualifying, you have the 2-legged ties played 31st of August to 8th of September. So you've got Curacao versus El Salvador, Canada versus Belize, Grenada versus Haiti, Jamaica versus Nicaragua, St. Vincent and the Grenadines versus Aruba, Antigua and Barbuda versus Guatemala. In Group A, you've got Honduras, Mexico, Curacao / El Salvador, or Canada or Belize. Group B, you've got Panama, Costa Rica, Grenada or Haiti, and Jamaica or Nicaragua. By the way, congratulations to Jamaica, who won the gold. I think it won the Gold Cup, upsetting the USA. Well, they got through to the final anyway. Group C, Trinidad and Tobago, USA, St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Aruba, and Antigua and Barbuda or Guatemala as well. The top 2 teams from each group will play in the 16 mini league. The top 3 qualify, and the 4th goes into an intercontinental playoff. That's a mouthful to say. Intercontinental champion. Anyway, I thought I'd say that. Oceania, round 1, group stage. American Samoa, Cook Islands, Samoa, and Tonga. Now, if you want an obligatory wrestling reference, Samoa, Tonga. There you go. One of them was West Haku. Or Meng. Round 2, group stage. Group A, winner of round 1 between American Samoa, Cook Islands, Samoa, and Tonga, plus Papua New Guinea, New Caledonia, and Tahiti's on the Tahiti's on. I love that in the Confederation Cup. That was brilliant. Group B, New Zealand, Vanuatu, Fiji, and the Solomon Islands. The top 3 teams in Group A and Group B progress to round 3. That will comprise of 2 groups of 3, with the top team in each progressing to a 2-legged playoff. The winners of that qualify for the Intercontinental Playoff. Right. Now, South America, group stage. Colombia, Chile, Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru, Uruguay. Top 4 automatically qualify. 5th place goes into a playoff. I like that. Cut and dry. But that's the draw in full and the different regions for Russia 2018. But on the same day, Lord Treisman repeats desire for Russia 2018 boycott. You may remember on a Pitch Talk show about 3-4 years ago, we did go through in detail about Lord Treisman wanting to actually boycott Russia 2018. But he has said European teams should force the issue of boycotting the 2018 World Cup in Russia. He cited the controversy regarding the process, which led to the winning bid and racism issues in Italian football. Sorry, in Russian football, I should say. Apologies for that. The racism issues in Russian football. We've got a special feature coming up. Players, clubs, professional conduct. Stick around for that special feature. We've got a lot to go through on that. Basically, Lord Treisman said my basic proposition was that UEFA as a whole should do it, and the key reason was to force change through FIFA. That change has not happened. I think it's worth trying to force the issue. FIFA's awarding of the 2018 and 2022 World Cups to Russia and Qatar respectively remains the subject of corruption investigations in the United States and Switzerland. We took 2 shows to go completely through that. They're on YouTube. I think it's Pitch Talk Push Points as well. So youtube.com/Pitch Talk if you want to catch up with those situations. We also did mention last week about Emmanuel Frimpong being sent off after reacting to alleged racism during a match against Spartak, against Spartak Moscow. And Lord Treisman said, I think it's an absolutely fundamental issue. The idea that you can have a country in which it's entirely commonplace for people to jeer and make unpleasant responses to a player because he's a black player should not be part of our world. He added, if I was an England fan, much as I would love to see the team play, I don't think I would travel to Russia. I think the problems in that country are enormous. Now, in regards to that, it is a case of Lord Treisman does have a point, and this is not the first time he's brought up that point. As I said, about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, we actually had PT shows where we were focusing on that. But I want to take that issue. I'll take that issue first. But it's a case of, I mean, what more can you say about Russia 2018? I mean, the Frimpong issue that we mentioned last week, it's a circus. It really is a circus is being allowed to go on. A big shout out to Kieran Riley, who's just joined us on Skype. It is an absolute disgrace that is going on. But for me, it is looking at Russia 2018. This is another thing that should have been seen coming from a while ago, and that's what concerns me, that the powers that be will see this coming, or should see it coming, but still let it run. That's what frustrates me about these current situations. But coming back onto the draws, just gonna keep it on Europe, or we'll be here all night. But the fact is, Group A sticks out straight away. Holland, France, Sweden already. That is going to be absolutely tasty. Not only that, but Wales and the Republic of Ireland being drawn in the same group. I mean, Austria and Serbia are not chopped liver, not by any stretch of the imagination, especially Serbia. So I quite like the look of that group. But England v Scotland, oh my word. And apparently, from the fixture list, England will play Scotland. I think it's on November 11th. So it's like, oh my. They're actually going to play that November 11th, which is usually Remembrance Day. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how that goes down. But as I said, that group, you would potentially expect England and potentially Slovakia to go through. But Scotland are going to have a big thing to say. They're going to have a big say in who goes through, potentially along with them. I mean, the Spain-Italy group, Group G, looks interesting, but it's only really Spain and Italy that you're going to expect to go through. I mean, Albania, Israel, FYR, Macedonia, Liechtenstein, yeah. Portugal, you'd expect to progress through Group B, but they really have made a pig's ear of their Euro 2016 groups so far. And even the Brazil World Cup last year, they almost made a complete pig's ear of that. So it is one of them ones. But England-Scotland, that's a match I actually wouldn't mind going to, because it's going to be an England-Scotland match whereby for the first time in almost 20 years, it's an England-Scotland match that actually matters in terms of qualifying. So, I mean, Jesse Fizzle, you want to jump in on these draws?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think Group A is the group to watch. Out of all of them, I think, those three, and I suppose they are big teams, all in the same group. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. So, I think if you want to see some real quality football in terms of the qualifying, that's where I think it is. It's in Group A. I mean, I personally see France and the Netherlands coming out of that, and I think the real interesting games will be when they go head to head. But Group C is not bad either. Group C is quite tight. Germany, Czech Republic, Northern Ireland, and Norway. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. Group E as well. Again, very interesting. Montenegro, Poland, Denmark, Romania. That's going to be very tight. Obviously, Group F goes without saying. I think going to be very interesting. Group G with Spain and Italy, I expect those two to come out of that as the big guns. Group H, I expect Belgium to come out of that. I do. But even Group I is very interesting because, of course, there's Croatia, Ukraine, and Turkey. And then, of course, you have Iceland and Finland as well. So in a bit of a Scandinavian derby. So it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. I think all the groups are quite even. That's the thing that I've noted from the draw. All the groups are quite even. It's going to be very difficult to earmark any runaway, clear-cut winners of groups. I think the only team that really has a chance to really pull away from everyone in their group, Germany. Germany's the only team. And the reason why I say that is because, they seem to be very well organized. And they've replaced some key players in the national squad. So it's going to be very interesting. In terms of Africa, round 2 is where I'm looking at. I know I shouldn't look past round 1. because I think there will be some good games in there. But round 2 is where it gets really tasty, and that's what I'm looking forward to. In terms of CONCACAF, again, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll be really interested to see what will happen in terms of South America, though. Can Chile, can they back up their recent success? Or is it a one-off fluke? That's the question. That's what I'm looking forward to having answered. And then I'll just touch briefly on Lord Treisman as well. And I think, given the wake of everything, he's kind of covered all that there is to cover. You know, he really has, in the sense of, I'd say, you know, the process was shady. And now you're having even more reports of racism. Is it really the country to go and host the World Cup in? Just using those examples.
Yeah.
And on those examples alone, it creates a very, very strong case.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good reading.
No. Now, whether or not an out-and-out boycott will happen, I mean, it's kind of like fan boycotts, right? Like, for them to be really effective, they have to be complete and total. You know, we're not talking about let's put black bin liners on seats.
Come and get your black bin bags. They're longer black and slam. Sorry, I had to do that. A little Dave Spikey reference.
You know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, you know, absolute abandonment. Right? We're talking about tweed, a ball of tweed rolling through.
What are you saying? Tumbleweed.
Tweed, tumbleweed, all kinds of weed. Just
so we're gonna have Snoop Dogg jumping in there in a sec.
Snoop Lion.
Snoop Dogg Lion Cat Budgie. That confused individual. Yeah, I wanna buy a Celtic. Yeah, wait, I'm gonna wear every shirt of every club. Yeah, nah, go away, mate. Leave football alone. Go away.
I just think, unless it's something like that, it won't be effective.
But I mean, if a boycott was going to happen, I mean, I'm in agreement with Lord Treisman. It would be good to see a boycott happen, but it would have to be all of the constituents of UEFA coming together, and that's not going to happen. I mean,
No.
England we've always said, yeah, mate, we'd be up for a boycott because look at how corrupt these awards were. But then you got Germany coming out straight away and saying, nah, we're not on this, we're not going to do it. And it's like, all right, cool, you've buggered it over already. It's like financial fair play. It was buggered over before it even started. So it's one of them ones. It's like, yeah, you've buggered over any boycott talk before it's even started. Thank you very much. Good night. This one that was curveball right on, strike one. And it's, I don't know, man. But some of these games are going to be very interesting. They are definitely going to be very interesting. And I said, England, Scotland, that's going to be fun. That is going to be very, very, very.
That's going to be tasty.
Well, no. But when that happens at Wembley, that's going to be interesting. Speaking of Wembley, the SSE FA Women's Cup Final, we're going to be there Saturday. So if you know anyone who's going to be there Saturday, it's one of them ones. Get them to come and find us on Wembley Way because we will be filming. And what are we going to be doing? We're going to be busting a move. Don't just stand there. Bust a move. You want it. You got it. Baby, we got it.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Liam will be singing as well.
Wembley Way with Pitch Talk. Cameras will be on Wembley Way. Once again, all three of us. And girls on the ball, we will be filming pre and post.
So yeah, so we'll have even more musical stylings just like this, all right?
Nah, I'm going to be behind the camera, so yeah. So that was you and G-Man are taking the lead in front of the camera, so you'll have to sing for me. So there were a lot of things that were said from behind the camera that couldn't be heard on the microphones that you lot had that were making you laugh on the outtakes. But yeah, It's one of them ones. It's just fun. It's always fun. But Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in on the World Cup 2018 draws. Qualifying.
Yes, I did, Liam. First one I'm going to jump in is on the European section, which features England, Scotland, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales.
Go on, have at it.
Right, the first one, when I saw the draw for, when me and my dad saw the draw for the World Cup 2018 qualifying campaign, my dad went to me straight away, because it's his week after we play Scotland at home, it's my dad's birthday, and he went to me yesterday, you know what, you can buy me for my birthday, don't you? So I went, England v Scotland tickets? He went, yeah, of course you can. So on the 11th of November... Are you
saving your pocket money now? That's all I'm asking.
I don't need to, because I've got money in the bank.
Bro!
I've been saving up for quite a while.
Baller.
Wait. I've got a tune
to get to Wembley.
Wait, hold on. I've actually got a tune to jump in. Now that you've just said that, you know what? It has to, like,
you got to do it.
We've got to do. Russ Vernon usually drinks, usually does, usually bubble. Next thing he's wearing is Rolex. Sorry, I had to. When I heard, I got money in the bank. It's like, dude's wearing his Rolex. He's wearing a Rolex. He's like Ric Flair in 2000. That's a $15,000 Rolex. Never thought I'd be able to crowbar in the Tony Schiavone reference, but yeah, cool. But Russ, you were saying?
Yes, the England v Scotland game will definitely be one we're going to try and get to. And I'll be getting a ticket for my dad for his birthday, because it's his birthday the week after. So I think in that group, I reckon it'll be probably England, and I may surprise some people on this one, but I think Malta will qualify along with England out of our group.
Sorry, I couldn't help that reaction.
You didn't.
No, sorry, I couldn't help that. No. That's Liberties over Scotland. I swear Mike Arnold just said, are you diluted?
In Group A, I reckon it'll probably be Holland for definite, I reckon, Liam. And I think the other one will be between either France or Sweden. And I'm going to say Sweden will just nick it over France. I think it'll be Portugal and Switzerland will get through from their group, which is Group B. In Group C, I'm thinking it'll probably be Germany and Norway. I think Norway will probably surprise a few people in that group, Group C. Group D, I think it'll be Austria and Serbia. Group E will be Denmark and Poland. Group G will probably be Spain, maybe Italy for definite, and either Spain or Albania, if Spain double their ideas are from where they've been playing past few tournaments. I reckon it'll be Greece and Belgium from Group H. And in Group I, I'm a bit like Mike, I'm stuck who's going to get through in that group, because it's got quite a good 4 teams in there, and 5 teams, sorry, and I think it'll probably be Croatia, and I'm going to say Finland.
That's some interesting picks. That's some interesting picks, especially with Austria and Serbia instead of Republic of Ireland and or Wales. I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with. I don't know if I can agree with those. But then, the Malta thing. Mike Hardiman, I'm begging you. Like, are you going to jump in on your picks for qualification?
Oh, 100%, yeah. And Malta are not anywhere near it. Just to throw that one out there straight away, they'll be one of the first ones to get 0 points. So yeah, Group A, I reckon Netherlands and France, easy. Group B, Portugal and Switzerland, they'll go through. Germany and I think Norway from C. I think Republic of Ireland will get through alongside Serbia in D. E, I reckon Denmark and Poland for me. What we got? F, I reckon, will be England. Should get through that. And I think Slovenia, because they gave us a good game as well last time, and it was
they're not bad.
But they're a decent side, so I think they could surprise a few people in that group. Group G, Spain and Italy. Give it. Group H, Belgium and Greece probably. I reckon Croatia and Turkey. They're nice shouts, I reckon. But yeah, just for saying Malta. Come on, Liam, you've got to give him 5 stars minus for that.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah. The Malta thing does definitely deserve
minus 5 stars
because that is actually, with all due respect to Russ Vernon, I did as soon as I heard Malta going through with England instead of Scotland, I did think,
if I want any crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
I did kind of think of that because that's why I started loving. Because even Mike, what you said in the Skype chat was that was bad, mind.
Oh, what? Okay, I'm just gonna air this now, just because I can. Malta qualifying. Just you know, Russ is a Leeds fan. For those of you that don't know, Malta qualifying is about as likely or as as much chance of that happening as it has of Leeds winning the league.
It's just one of them ones where like, oh lordy. But I mean, I see that Kieran is monitoring this thread, or at least Ainsley is. Anyway, if anyone's seen the Snapchat recently, Ainsley Angels Urban Kitchen. Anyway, that's a completely different story. Couple right on this track one. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, some of the draws they do actually legitimately look tasty. That's the one thing. That's the one thing I will say about those draws is that they do look pretty good. I mean, hey, Wales and Republic of Ireland. Those are going to be a couple of good games in there as well. So it is one of them ones. But it is time to shift on. And one thing we have been kind of holding for a while, and waiting to really kind of drill deep into it during this summer. Bristol City fans snub season opener over £39 ticket price. This was from the 23rd of July 2015. So we're going to come from the present, go back to bring you back forward again, because a section of Bristol City supporters are planning to miss their first game back in the Championship over what they call astronomical ticket prices. Away supporters who travel to Sheffield Wednesday on the opening day will be charged up to £39 for a ticket. For some of us, it's a matter of principle, said a statement from Bristol City Supporters Club and Trust. It's going to hurt to do this, but the Supporters Club and Trust has decided not to attend this game. Bristol City won the League One title in April to secure their return to English football second tier following a 2-year absence. The Robins have received an initial allocation of 1,068 tickets in the Leppings Lane and at Hillsborough on Saturday, 8th of August, the first game of the season. Now, other ticket boycotts and protests. Liverpool fans boycotted their match at Hull City in April 2015 over the £50 ticket price. We're going to come back into that in just a minute. Man City supporters did not attend the game against Arsenal in 2013 because of the £62 admission fee. Arsenal and Liverpool fans protested about ticket prices of up to £64 before their match in 2015 at the Emirates Stadium, and West Bromwich Albion supporters threatened the boycott over the £56 entrance fee to watch the Baggies play at Manchester City in 2015. Now, 21st of April 2015, West Ham reduced ticket prices after record television deal. West Ham became the first club to announce they will reduce season ticket prices as a result of the Premier League's £5.136 billion record television deal. Now, in addition to that, West Ham's cheapest adult season ticket will cost £289, down from between £620 and £940 for the 2014-2015 campaign. The 2016-17 season will be the club's first at the Olympic Stadium. West Ham Vice Chairman Karen Brady said, "We have always said that our move to the magnificent new stadium would be a game changer for West Ham. It was a chance to increase revenue, invest in the team and improve our performance on the pitch, but without putting an extra financial burden on the supporters who already come to watch every home match. This announcement proves we have kept our promise. Although the cost of season tickets for West Ham are rising for the 2015-16 season by a maximum of 5%, they will fall again for the following campaign as the new television deal begins." Now, shifting on again, on the 22nd of April 2015, the question was asked, following West Ham's announcement they're going to reduce season ticket prices as a result of the television deal, BBC Sport asked the other 19 clubs whether they would follow suit. Now, at the time, Aston Villa, no response. Burnley had no plans as of yet, but they said it was a possibility that others might follow suit. You've got to strike a balance between revenue to get a team on the pitch and affordability. Chelsea said they review ticket prices each season. Crystal Palace didn't give a response at the time. Same with Everton. Hull City said prices for seniors and adults have increased 6% for next season. Plans are not concrete for the following season. Leicester City don't participate in such surveys. I know Brad Hicks, one of our regulars, will be potentially a little disappointed by that. Liverpool, no response yet. We're going to come back into them later on. Man City already have £299 season tickets. No plans yet for the 2016-17 season. Man United, unlikely to be a decision until the next financial year after June 30th. Obviously, because they are they're on the New York Stock Exchange. They're a little different in that regard. They can't necessarily commit to certain things that other teams can because of that. But anyway, just explaining that. Newcastle current deals give fans a chance to sign up to long-term season ticket price freeze deals. QPR, no comment. Tottenham, no plans to reduce prices ahead of move to new stadium. Southampton, no plans for the 16-17 season yet. Stoke, frozen season ticket prices for the last 7 years. Sunderland have said our season cards are already some of the cheapest in the top flight. We reduced the price of all season cards last season, and they have been frozen at those reduced prices for next season's campaign. Swansea, they announced a drop in season ticket prices in December, so West Ham aren't the first. It was a general £10 drop across the board, although their season tickets are generally one of the cheapest across the board when averaged out, starting at $419 for an adult and the top price of $489. West Brom, no plans yet for the 2016-17 season. It's dependent on league status. Now, Brendan Rodgers, back on April 27th, says he understands why Liverpool supporters are choosing to boycott at the time that fixture with Hull City over ticket pricing. Hull City were charging Liverpool fans £50, an increase of £15 from last season, and £34 more than Stoke City fans were charged at the KC Stadium the August before. The movement to address spiraling ticket prices is gathering fresh momentum due to the inflation-busting hikes, despite the millions pouring into English football with each TV deal. Now, Liverpool and Arsenal fans protested at high prices before their Premier League game at the Emirates, while banners declaring opposition to price hikes had become a common sight at top-flight grounds. Like everything in modern football, I respect the supporters' right to protest, said Rodgers. Supporters work very hard to earn their money to go to football games, so they have a right to protest. The Premier League's imminent £5 billion TV deal at that time led to calls for a fairer redistribution of wealth, and there will be additional scrutiny on where the money goes as players, agents, and a host of organizations lay claim to their share of the spoils. While currently just £200,000 is allocated to the Premier League Away Fans Initiative. Now, on the 27th of April, the Premier League should act on rising ticket prices to help fans, Hull City manager Steve Bruce said, as his side at the time was preparing to host Liverpool. Liverpool supporters group Spirit of Shankly, who were very, very active in terms of protesting ticket prices, and they have been for a number of years, were planning a boycott in protest at the £50 admission charge, which they actually did carry out. So it's a Category A match, but tickets for the visit of Burnley, a Category C game, which was on May 9th, were priced at £16. I feel sorry for the supporters of big clubs who have to dig deep every week, said Bruce. We have to remember the average man in the street, because they are the lifeblood of football. The Spirit of Shankly estimated at the time 500 seats will be empty in the away end, despite Liverpool selling out their allocation as Reds fans buy concessionary tickets but stay away from the KC Stadium. The group said Hull are monetizing the fans' loyalty and say last season supporters were charged £35 for the fixture. Now, Malaysia fans group steps up protests against Spurs and Liverpool matches. This was from May 18th, 2015. A Malaysian supporters group has ramped up its protests against the arrival of Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur for lucrative friendlies, urging fans to rip up tickets for the matches. Ultras Malaya has labelled the Spurs fixture on May 27th and the Liverpool game on July 24th against the Malaysian 11 as circus matches. Some of us already see pre-season and circus matches on a general basis anyway, but let's keep carrying on. Don't buy the ticket. They were angry at the disruption caused to the domestic league and World Cup qualifying preparations. Don't buy the tickets. Don't go to the stadium, the group said in a statement. The matches are simply held to make FAM, the Football Association of Malaysia, the organisers and their cronies rich. So don't let FAM and the organisers profit from this sort of nonsense. What's the point? A win for Malaysia is unlikely, and you can't be expecting the visitors to give their very best like they play in the EPL on TV, can you? Excuse me. Alafadli Awaludin, a senior member of the Ultras Malaya supporters group, told Reuters last month that the Premier League giants will be better off playing each other in Kuala Lumpur rather than disrupting local football. The Spurs match comes days after the Malaysian Cup final, less than 2 weeks before Malaysia triumph with gold at the Southeast Asian Games in June, which was followed swiftly by the start of the joint qualifying campaign for the 2018 World Cup and 2019 Asian Cup. Now, fast forward into the 5th of June 2015, Liverpool freeze matchday ticket prices at Anfield. Liverpool have frozen general admission matchday ticket prices for the 15-16 season, the club announced. The Reds have been working with a ticket in working group made up of Liverpool supporters organisations. The BBC's Price of Football survey in 2014 found Liverpool's cheapest ticket for a home game was £37 compared to the Premier League average of £28.80. We're pleased the club has listened to our concerns about ticket prices, said working group member Bob Humphreys. Humphreys, who is also a LFC Supporters Committee chairman, added they have at least in the short term agreed to change their proposals and freeze prices to allow us time to work with them to find solutions. The LFC Supporters Committee is a member of the Ticketing Working Group along with Spy on Cop 1906 and Spirit of Shankly. Liverpool had already frozen adult season ticket prices for next season and announced a 10% reduction in junior season tickets. Now, fast forward into July 3rd, 2015, there appeared to be united condemnation from football fans after the Premier League and Sky Sports announced the rescheduling of games for television coverage on Friday. That was July 3rd, 2015 at the time. Bournemouth fans face a 528-mile round journey to Liverpool to make Anfield's first game of the season for an 8 p.m. kickoff on Monday, 17th of August. I'm already personally fuming that they're having matches on Mondays because obviously it conflicts with PT. But leaving that aside, a week later, Liverpool fans enjoyed the 410-mile round journey to see their Reds take on Arsenal at the Emirates, 8 p.m. on Monday, 24th of August. Both games have been moved to accommodate Sky Sports television coverage, whilst Newcastle fans face the same problem for their trip to West Ham on Monday, 14th of September, a 558-mile round journey. Amongst other thoughtlessly scheduled fixtures, Everton must make the 478-mile round trip to Southampton for a 12 noon kickoff on Saturday, 15th of August to accommodate BT Sports live coverage. Just weeks ago, Liverpool Supporters Union Spirit of Shankly made a plea to the Premier League, Sky Sports and BT Sports ahead of the fixtures being released. They said, we are writing to both Sky and BT Sport to request that they consider what moving a match from a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday to a Monday night at 8 p.m. actually means to the fans who travel, particularly when the fixture change means that fans will then be unable to travel home using public transport and will more than likely need to take time off work to attend. Fans should not be expected to travel more than a set number of miles for fixtures at irregular kickoff times. However, it appears the Premier League has disregarded fan welfare once again in that regard. And it wasn't just Liverpool fans upset over the television scheduling announcement. Voices across football were pretty angry about it. Graham White, at Grays10 said Arsenal v Liverpool on a Monday night. Something surely has to be done about such journeys midweek/Sundays for travelling fans. Ollie Heptonstall at Ollie Heppy on Twitter said poor show by Sky Football getting Bournemouth fans to travel to Liverpool on a Monday night. Nick Metcalf at Nick_Metcalf as a punter on Reddish who points out it's good to see the fans put first as usual. Liverpool v Bournemouth on a Monday night at 8 p.m. David Webber at Dr. Dave Webber on Twitter said Premier League logic moved the Liverpool-Bournemouth game to a Monday night. I mean, Merseyside is so easy to get to from the South Coast. Sorry. At Adam Pembry on Twitter said can't only complain when it's against us. Making Liverpool fans travel to London on a Monday night is, well, BOLL, you can finish that one. At Mark_Jones 86, Bournemouth fans dragged to Liverpool on a Monday night. Everton to Southampton on a Saturday morning. It begins. At John Brocklehurst on Twitter said, so Sky put Liverpool v Bournemouth on a Monday night. Absolutely no thought for the travelling fans as usual. At Macca26EFC on Twitter said nothing says welcome to the Premier League quite like Liverpool v Bournemouth on a Monday night. Enjoy that trip, Bournemouth fans. At Roger Mottram said the 12:45 kickoff should be done away with. Where's the thought for the away fans in Everton playing at Southampton at such a time? George Wheeler at GR Wheeler 7 said FA Premier League Sky Sports Xavier official against modern football. Has Sky stole the soul? Fans obviously mean very little these days. At Born to be Scouse, but as long as the Premier League can be sold all over the world, who cares about proper fans? That's quite an interesting one because I actually had a little discussion with Chris Hutchinson, one of the original Pitch Talk bloggers, as it happened, back in 2010, who's an Everton supporter, about it's all good. It's all good in terms of kind of local support, but hey, it's where the money's being made is not local support, it's worldwide support, which is why there's these lucrative friendlies. But carrying on, at Vistas Anfield said, Thoughtless Premier League, Bournemouth fans travel to Liverpool on a Monday night, Liverpool fans travel to Arsenal on Monday a week later. So one of them was 24th of August. At Paul_Lauder said, worst trip I'd done was Swansea away 2 seasons ago, Monday night. Left 11 a.m. Monday, home 5 a.m. Tuesday. # away days. Now, adding a bit more to this story, English fans pay 10 times more than counterparts in Europe for season tickets. This is from July 7th, 2015. A season ticket to watch Barcelona costs just £103, while Arsenal fans have to shell out over £1,000 to watch their team, according to figures from a new survey. The Football Supporters Federation have compiled a comparison of season ticket prices across the Premier League and related them to what fans on the continent are paying. And Premier League fans will not be surprised to find out they are being gouged for every last penny. Worst offenders of the lot are Arsenal, whose cheapest season ticket comes in at £1,014 for next year. Now, that's the cheapest one. Top tier season tickets cost £2,013. Now, carrying on, carrying on in that, newly crowned European champions and treble winners, Barcelona asked just £103 for their cheapest season ticket, an amount which would barely get you a seat for a couple of matches at the Emirates. Watching the 2013 European champions Bayern Munich is even cheaper than Barcelona. Season tickets cost from just £99 at the Allianz Arena. People tell us they have given up their season ticket because it costs too much. Michael Brunskill of the Football Supporters Federation said the cost of some in Europe is really low. In Germany, ticket prices are cheap, but they are also very competitive teams. The Premier League in England just signed a mammoth TV deal, and we would like to see them bring ticket prices down. Not all of the Premier League's clubs milk fans as badly as Arsenal. Man City season tickets start at just £299, which seems pretty solid value for a team that has won 2 titles in the last 4 seasons. Only Stoke City offer a cheaper top flight option. Man United charged £532 for their cheapest season ticket, but that hides true cost, since, as their website explains, season ticket holders are automatically allocated and required to buy tickets for home games in the FA and League Cup competition. Many fans have fallen foul of that rule, even when it forces them to spend £50 or more for terrible midweek matches such as FA Cup replays against kind of minnows such as Cambridge United, etc. Also, Swansea, but 8th of July 2015, little bit of light at the end of the tunnel and a bit positive. But Swansea City agreed to subsidise away tickets. Swansea City fans will pay no more than £22 for an away ticket in the 2015-16 Premier League season. The Swans have pledged that tickets purchased through its membership scheme will be subsidised, with adult tickets on some grounds costing in excess of £50. The club said the subsidy would amount to £300,000 saving for fans during the season. We are well aware of how expensive it is to follow the team to away games, Swans director Hugh Coos said. An adult can now watch every one of our away games in the Premier League for a total price of £419. That's more than £250 cheaper per adult than the amount we believe it would be otherwise. Now, another little bit to this is that football fans face price hike as TV battle between Sky and BT continues. In February, Sky and BT retained the rights to England's top flight in a record £5.13 billion deal over 3 seasons. This from July 9th, 2015. The emergence of BT as a leading force in the football market has posed fans a tricky decision. Stick with Sky, trial the new outfit, or pay for both. And it's just got more expensive. BT have now confirmed that Sky customers wishing to have their BT Sport Pack in HD as an add-on will have to fork out £23.99 per month. That represents a £9 increase on last season, with the cost of the same package in SD rising £7.99 to £19 a month. BT boosted their football portfolio by taking the Champions League away from ITV and Sky in an £897 million deal, winning the rights to show all 350 fixtures each season from 2015. However, BT insists that the TV deal can be beneficial for fans, claiming that a saving of nearly £350 can be made if fans switch to them. Now, Jezzy Fizzle, you want to jump in on this whilst I have a little bit of a rest and collect my thoughts before I jump in?
Absolutely. I think, the biggest thing here.
Why has Jezzy gone all quiet?
Because, no.
There we go.
I think the biggest thing here that is overlooked, and I think, where the money comes in from is a very interesting point, in the sense that, the money is made globally, right? So the Premier League being shown in Asia, across Europe, in America, so on and so forth, right? But I think the biggest thing that's forgotten is when you watch these games, okay, one of the things that you want to see as somebody who is watching the game on TV is that there are actually people at the games, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, you want there to be a certain type of fan at the game, right? It's not like, for example, when you're watching tennis, right? Where everybody has to be quiet. Right? You're expecting some noise. You're expecting a little bit of noise. You're expecting, some chants here or there, so on and so forth. Right? And, you expect to see people having a good time, or, a small child crying, those kinds of things. Those are what you're expecting to see when, the cameras cut away to the crowd.
I always think them cutaways are very cruel, seeing children.
No, they are cruel, but come on, they're a part of the experience. All right? If you're going to be crying at a football game, expect to be shown on telly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I feel sorry for them kids. You're so harsh.
I'm not being harsh. I'm just saying that, you're going to be made internet famous, okay, in the era of internet memes, right? If you happen to be caught crying when the camera comes to you. That's all.
It is a good point, actually. No, that is a good point.
That's all. So with that, it's like, well, look, if you're going to price fans out of the game, like literally, then who's going to be in these pictures? There aren't going to be any cutaways to the kid crying, because the kid that's crying is now crying at home, where he's not going to be internet famous. Right? So if they're going to continue to price fans out of the game, what will happen is you'll have even more blogs like Two Men in Search of a Beautiful Game. It's going to be, I don't know, say like a couple million people in search of a beautiful game after that.
Yeah.
Right? And what we'll see is higher attendances in the lower leagues, right? Because it's affordable. It's closer. Right? And there hasn't been a big invasion of TV as much. right? Like the biggest times when TV will get involved will be what, the FA Cup, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Right. So the rest of the time it's pure. It's untainted by all of that TV money, right? And maybe, just maybe, what will happen is, you know, the Premier League will go the way of WCW, pay some actors to go and fill the place.
Oh lordy. Well,
Every single time.
WCW didn't pay actors; they just gave away their tickets for free to fill their TV. You especially saw that when DX invaded the Norfolk Scots. WCW wrestling. I loved that in '98. That was brilliant.
So, you know, for me, unless they're gonna go and do that, and let's be honest, giving away the tickets for free is a lot more expensive than them reducing the ticket prices and freezing the ticket prices on account of, you know, the league having what, 5.3 billion or whatever it was.
Yeah, 5.136.
Right. So 5.136. I stand corrected. Billion, and you're telling me you can't have a universal blanket over ticket prices for the Premier League, just to make sure, for example, that every single game, regardless of who's playing in that game, that the stadiums are always full, that you're going to have a legacy of supporting these teams in those communities and beyond because the ticket prices are affordable. And that's what's really sustainable about the Premier League. I'm not saying that you can't have the tiered pricing based on where you sit. Of course you can. But in terms of a maximum cap, why not have it?
Yeah.
Why not have it? It's not as if these clubs are poor.
No, of course not. And the money is actually distributed very, very well in comparison to, say, Spain, which I think part of the reason that Barcelona can offer a £103 season ticket is because them and Real Madrid are pretty much monopolizing the money anyway. So there's part of the argument, but it's not the biggest part of it, if you get my drift.
I get it. I've caught it, and I'm taking it where I need to go. And the point I'm making with it is this, right? So because these teams aren't poor and they have all of these other commercial deals, right? It would be much better for them if they're able to fill the stadium every week because of a cap, right? And what that means is all of those fans, especially the ones that get to go, you know, maybe once, twice a year, right? Because they're coming from further away. Are you really trying to tell me, right, that those fans aren't going to provide more repeat business in the club shop?
Well, repeat business.
Are you really trying to tell me that they're not going to have repeat business by really making an event of it and say go into the club museum and taking the tour, or doing a stadium tour, or both? And if the club's got a restaurant, going to the club restaurant, so on and so forth. Are you really trying to tell me that those people aren't going to go there? If there's a cap, that's where the additional money is. It's not going to be, well, let's try and make all the money from the ticket sales. No,
of course. I mean, you look at, say, WWE as an example. Their live events, they don't necessarily make that much money on their live events, which would be the equivalent of a football club trying to make money just based on gate receipts. So one of them was they get money from arguably the WWE network and subscriptions to the network, and
don't get much.
And yeah, I was going to say merchandise like T-shirts, DVDs, Blu-rays, and all that kind of thing. Football clubs are very much the same, where there's different revenue streams. You don't have to be extorting the fans to make money on the gate receipts, because you will be making, because if your club is set up correctly, then you can go on these pre-season tours to Asia, to America, and you can make your money that way, expanding into other markets, merchandising, like say Benfica condoms, for instance. It'd be one of them. Was you
make sure you're on the attack and not on the defense?
Exactly, go on the attack with Benfica condoms, because you don't want to be going on the defensive and ending up in a situation like New Jack, where it's a case of
this girl sent me this picture of a little baby, and it was in a town that I had never been in before. And she sent me this picture. She said, "New Jack, this is your baby." And the baby looked like a pigeon with a spiked hairdo. I swear to God, I told her that ain't my baby.
You don't want to be in that kind of situation, so go on the attack with Benfica condoms. But my point is you make money off your other revenue streams if you're a club, not just gate receipts. Because at the end of the day, as I said, the WWE are the one big, massive company in wrestling. They are wrestling in the United States, but they don't make that much money off of live gate receipts. They make money in other ways. And this is what gets me about this whole ticket thing. Some people would say, and the G-Man has been very forthright and blunt in saying before that, well, if you can't afford it, just don't go. But then when you end up pricing everyone out of it, or everyone apart from a top 5 percentile who are the only ones who can afford it, you will end up getting people who don't give a damn about football. They're just going there for something to do. And then you lose the atmospheres and that kind of stuff. So it's a frustrating one. And the fact that you can have a £5 billion TV deal, and then not only are they raising ticket prices in terms of getting into the ground, they have the nerve to raise the prices of being able to watch it on TV as well. And I have always said that the proliferation of football coverage, it's always the fans getting the shaft. Because instead of paying, say, 35 quid a month for Sky Sports now have competition from BT Sport. So if you want to see all the matches, then you're going to have to pay another 23, 24 quid for BT Sport now. And then if another entity comes in and splits that coverage as well, you're going to end up having to pay another 10, 15 quid for that. and it starts mounting up, and it starts really mounting up. And those fans who usually would love to go to that kind of thing, would love to go to those kind of matches, they end up getting priced out. And I said, you end up pricing out everyone apart from the elite. And that's not what you want in football. You want football to be about passion, not idiocy, not stupidity, not tribalism, but passion. There is a difference. It's like rumor, supposition, and fact. There is a difference between the two. Same with theory and practice. I mean, that's what annoys me about the whole situation. I mean, Jesse, did you have any more to add before we throw to Skypers as well?
Well, just to kind of add to the point again, as we said, I think if the clubs really think about it, it's the repeat business, right? So if the tickets are affordable, these people will keep coming.
Yeah, repeat business keeps everyone in business.
And that's the most important bit, right? Whereas if the tickets are so ridiculously priced, as you said, you're going to get a certain type of person going who, realistically, are they going to go week in, week out? No. And what do you need? People going week in, week out? Yes. So I really don't know how, that's kind of set up in terms of how they expect it to go. Right? Because again, if you want that passionate support where, the fans are really behind the team, you need a certain type of person there. It really is as simple as that. And I really don't think those people happen to exist with the current market of people that the league is being aimed at. For me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? So on the flip side of this, you'll have players coming out and complaining and saying, well, our support were quiet. Right? We didn't really have fans behind us. Well, let's look at this in a microcosm, okay? So as players, you guys are overpaid to kick a ball about. And the real fans can't get in because, well, let's be honest, the cost of living is too high, generally.
Yeah.
Right? Wages haven't gone up. Companies and the government are asking you to work even longer for less money.
Yeah.
Right? And you expect these people to take their money after they've gone and paid for food and shelter, right, to come and support you when it makes more sense for them to, I don't know, buy more food, more shelter, more clothes.
And stream the stuff live on the internet for free.
Rather than to actually come down
yeah,
and support in person.
Yeah.
Look, I say this quite often in the show, but sometimes there are other things that are actually bigger than football.
Of course.
And those other priorities for me, they're bigger than football. So what you're going to get is the people with all of this excess money. And I'm not hating on those people. They did what they needed to do to get that. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I respect that. But here's the bit. I'd argue, are they really football fans? Probably not. So here's the bit. That's what you have to expect in return. This is what you're getting now, that this is who you're marketing to. Right? It's as simple as that. So either, as I say, the league wakes up and says, right, we're going to go and make it accessible for fans. Because here's the bit. Isn't there like a Barclays initiative that allows fans to get discount tickets to go to Premier League games?
I think there is that Alan Shearer, that advert
Yeah.
featuring Alan Shearer.
Yeah, that's the same one I'm referring to. So if Barclays have that, right? Barclays, former sponsor of the Premier League, by the way, let's not forget that.
Former as of next season, yes.
Right? So it's like, if they can have that, why isn't the league taking that on? Why can't the league see that, look, if you want the next generation of fans, this is where you get them from?
Well, you know what?
Right.
I was going to say, if that's not a rhetorical question, I'd like to answer it. At the end of the day, greed rules the day. When it comes to the Premier League, I've said before, greed rules the day. I mean, we've said it in relation to grassroots football before, which we're going to get on the grassroots segment shortly. But it's one of them ones. You see it in terms of grassroots football. Out of that £5+ billion, how much of that is going to grassroots? Couple mil at the most. And it's like, what? Doesn't even make sense. And then how much is going to the women's game? So it's just frustrating. Hopefully this kind of stuff will trigger a grassroots football exodus. An exodus to grassroots football, I should say. I would hope so. Like teams like, say, Hackney Wick FC, for instance. And a big shout out to Bobby Kasango, the founder of the club. It's one of them ones. I would love some of these disillusioned fans, and it's a point that that I think it was Daniel Magna from Two Men in Search of the Beautiful Game actually said in his full interview that we had down at Hackney Wick FC. It's a case of the Premier. There's a lot in terms of atmosphere and stuff like along those lines that the Premier League just does not offer anymore. And it's one of them where fans, he even said, fans are being priced out of the game in the Premier League, so some fans are looking elsewhere. So look into the grassroots game, look into League One, League Two, the Football League in general. Looking to like the conference as it used to be known. So it's one of them ones. I think that's an interesting way to go. I mean, Jesse, did you want to say anything else before we jump out to the Skypers?
No, I think the Skypers have had enough of my voice. Let's throw it out to them.
Probably heard enough of me too. Which one the Skypers wants to jump in first? On this debate that we are having? Because we've seen a couple of things. I mean, Mike Harneman, you've said quite a bit in the Skype chat, haven't you?
Yeah, basically, you're saying that it kind of brings more fans into the lower leagues, but it kind of doesn't in a way.
Well, I'm saying I would hope it would.
Yeah,
and I'm saying I think that it would, because those fans, much like Two Men in Search of a Beautiful Game, would be looking at it to say, well, look, right, I actually enjoy watching live football in person, right? I can't go and see the big team that I want to go and see, but I still want to go and watch football. I still want to do it. So they look at the other options, and the other options are lower down in the lower leagues. So why not go? Especially when it's not as expensive.
Yeah,
it's not as expensive. That's a given. But you're still like, I was looking at Stevenage prices for season tickets and stuff like that. It's still like, if you want to sit in the main stand, which is basically just directly behind the dugouts, you're still paying £400 for a season ticket, which for League Two is, I think that's ridiculous.
Which is actually more than Man City's cheapest season ticket. Which is what?
That's it.
But then my question is that the cheapest that they have available.
For adults, yes.
Well, in that case, yeah, I do agree with you, especially when you consider that, as you know, Straight Shoot One pointed out, Man City's slightly cheaper.
That's for sitting, and then the standing on the other side, that's still 280, 300 £1. So you've got, and that's without cup games as well. Cup games are all extra. I don't understand how League Two can price it that high, because that is kind of just the start of it all anyway. Because if League Two is going to price it that high, Premier League's got to be higher. So Arsenal charging 1,000, if Stevie's going to charge 400, it's pretty much about right.
But then do you think that's the Premier League kind of setting a bad example? Because then, the way you said that just now made me think that the Premier League setting a bad example. It's like, yeah, if Arsenal were going to charge 1,000, we're going to charge 400. It's like, fuck that, they're doing it, so we want a piece of it.
But then they've still got to make money as well, and I don't know how that the season tickets do take up quite a lot of the fan base over here, but it kind of does seem that the last couple of seasons, the people that have been buying season tickets has come like quite a lot less than 5-6 years back.
Well, I suppose as fans get disillusioned with high ticket prices. I mean, you look at that protest at like 62 quid tickets. It's like, I'd boycott that too. But then the trouble is when fans buy tickets and then don't go to the match, it's a case of if you don't buy them tickets, then someone else will. So similar to a Russia 2018 boycott, you would need everybody to be a united force if you're going to do a boycott and you're going to do it right. And for me, that's where the issue starts coming in, because if you had a season ticket at Arsenal and you had it for 10, 15 years, but you've now become disillusioned with the higher ticket prices and rises above inflation and all that, and then you give up your season ticket, there's 200, 300, 400, 500 people who are willing to take that season ticket on. So I think if anyone's going to do any sort of boycotts, it has to be a united front. Otherwise, it just ain't going to work. I said similar to the Russia 2018 boycott. If people want, like Lord Treesman was calling for, if people were going to do that, it needs to be united front. You can't have pockets. Otherwise, the action is just not going to work. But I mean, I said I do very much think that your average Joe Blow is being priced out of being able to go to football matches, especially at the top level. But then you see it in other countries, it's different, and I think that's where the frustration is, because in other countries you're seeing it in a completely different way. You're seeing these cheaper season ticket prices, not just by a couple quid. You're talking by hundreds of pounds. So I guess that's where the frustration comes in. But it's one of them ones. I mean, did any of the other Skypers want to jump in before we move and groove on? Go. All right. But you know what? Want to give a big shout out to Hackney Wick FC at Hackney Wick FC on Twitter, and also want to give a massive shout out to two men in search of the beautiful game, Tom Sparks and Daniel Magna as well. The big shouts to Hackney Wick FC and everyone there, including Chairman Miss Rana Brightman, and also, of course, the founder of the club, Mr. Bobby Kasanga. A great thing, founding a new club, especially at grassroots level. Like I said at the end of towards the end of Pitch Talk on the Road at Hackney Wick FC, it's a case of, it fills me with great joy that a club at grassroots level has been born. I love that, and they're not doing too badly either. Actually, not doing too badly. They actually had their Hackney derby recently as well, this past Saturday. But you know what? We are actually going to take a quick pause for the cause. We've still got a lot more show left. We have still got a hell of a lot more show left. But we are going to be back after a few short messages. So we will see you on the other side. See you in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pitch Talk proudly presents a full sit-down interview with a level 5 referee operating in Southern Amateur League and more. For 2 years, he was club secretary for a football club in Burn Oak. In April 2015, he was elected AFA Youth Council Chairman. His aims include having input on development and more.
To ask Darrell a question during our special interview, email pitchtalk@gmail.com and put Darrell David in the subject line. Pitch Talk meets Darrell David. Coming soon.
The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
G-Man.
Samira Swanee, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeau.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night footballing fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with
Talking Pie, a local podcast made by the fans for the fans of Notts County FC, hosted by Adam and Thomas Hewitt.
Brave Films. Go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich. Simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web, including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their Bonnie Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeau.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of MLS FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Grassroots segment. Yeah. Grassroots segment. Monday Night Footballing Fix. This is Pitch Talk Live. Remember the hashtag #PT Live. This is your Monday Night Footballing Fix. Excuse me. That took quite a lot out of me. Scripted ad-libs.
I like how the voice work could end. Monday Night Footballing Fix.
Hey, that's not funny. Well, it is kind of funny, but still. Anyway, we are in. Fix. Hey, you're not funny. What's this? FIFA. Ooh, fix. Ooh. Anyway, ooh, wee. He's like, ooh, I'm scared. Wee. Anyway, we are on the grassroots segment. Row the boat now. And where we're going first, we want to give a big shout out to the Southern Amateur League. At 14 SAL, the word 14 SAL, www.southernamateurleague.co.uk, at 14 SAL on Twitter, and also a big shout out to the Amateur FA at Amateur FA on Twitter, and also www.amateur-fa.com. Remember, our next Pitch Talk Meets interview is with the AFA Youth Council Chairman, and that is Mr. Gerald David. Remember, pitchtalk@gmail.com. Email your questions for Gerald David. Put Gerald David in the subject line if you want to email some questions in for him. It's one of them ones. He is the chairman of the AFA Amateur Football Alliance Youth Council. Very inspirational young man. So one of them was get your questions in for him. We will be sitting down with him very, very soon for a Pitch Talk Meets interview. Big shout outs to at AFA Lonsar on Twitter as well, the Referees Association of the Amateur Football Alliance. One of the main clubs we feature, Ibis Football Club, Ibis FC, the team that I call home, the place that I call home. Ibis Football Club at gmail.com is where you need to email. The new season starts, I think it's September 5th, the new season starts. So pre-season training has started for the Ibis. It started this past Saturday, 25th of July 2015 is when it started. Wednesday training is back. Wednesday 29th of July 2015. Wednesday training kicks off again at Ibis Football Club. So get yourselves down to Ibis training. Hey, we're always looking for new recruits. If you know of anyone, spread the word. Let them know. Facebook.com/IBIS.FC. There is an Ibis FC Facebook group as well. At Ibis_football on Twitter. And the official website is ibisfc.co.uk. Training. At the moment, the meet time will be 7 p.m. on the grass outside the Battersea Park all-weather AstroTurf pitch. So it's one of them ones and matches. There are friendlies being scheduled as we speak for the next few Saturdays coming up. And there also is pre-season training as well. So keep your eyes peeled for more information as well. You know what? Big shout out to Hackney Wick FC as well. I said www.hackneywickfc.com, at Hackney Wick FC on Twitter. Speaking of grassroots, there have been a couple of interesting movements in grassroots football recently. One of which being Forest Green Rovers planning a new £100 million stadium development. Some see this as a surprise. I personally don't. From the 17th of July 2015, National League side Forest Green Rovers have unveiled plans for a £100 million sports facility, which will include a new stadium for the club. The new stadium is expected to accommodate 5,000 supporters with capability to double in size. Forest Green have played at the new lawn since 2006, with Chairman Dale Vince hopeful the new development will be completed in around 5 years. By the time we get to build, we will be in the Football League, said Vince. The development, dubbed Eco Park, will be a 100-acre sports and green technology centre at Junction 13 on the M5. Located on either side of the A419, half of Eco Park will be dedicated to creating state-of-the-art sporting facilities, including an all-seater stadium, training fields, 4G pitches, multidisciplinary sporting facilities, as well as a sports science hub. The other half of Eco Park will comprise a green technology will comprise of a green technology business park capable of serving up to 4,000 jobs. Forest Green were promoted to the conference, now called the National League, in 1998, and Vince says they are outgrowing their existing home. We've seen our gates double, and it chokes the hill and upsets our neighbours. He told BBC Radio Gloucestershire, we want to get bigger, we've got intentions to get into the Football League, so the problem will only get worse. We've been looking for a couple of years, working with Stroud Council, this place would be ideal. Vince added, Dale Vince added, he hopes the new lawn could become affordable, low carbon homes. And after initial consultation period, the Green Energy Tycoon hopes to submit a planning application in September. Since taking over the club in 2010, Dale Vince has introduced an organic pitch, the first in the world, which is spread with cow manure, 180 solar panels, which generate 10% of the electricity at the new lawn, and a red meat ban for players and all produce sold on match days. Now, staying with the grassroots segment, schoolboy with cystic fibrosis signs contract with Bradford City Academy. You know what? We were so happy reading this story earlier today, and we actually tweeted it out earlier today as well. But it is one of them. Was where schoolboy with the lung disease cystic fibrosis has signed a contract with the Bradford City Academy and hopes to defy the odds to become a professional footballer. 8-year-old Robbie Murray from Addingham recently signed a 2-year contract with the academy despite having a condition which progressively damages the lungs and digestive system and means a lifetime of treatment and medication. His dad Andrew said Robbie may have been born with cystic fibrosis, but he was also born with football in his blood, and that's his life. He loves it. We think the reason he is so well is because he spent so much of his time chasing a ball. Exercise is essential for people with cystic fibrosis to help keep their lungs clear of sticky mucus, and Robbie has managed to avoid going into the hospital for the last 24 months. That's why the contract is so important for him. Apart from learning football skills, he will be getting specialized and rigorous exercise, which is part and parcel of the academy's training. Mr. Murray described his son's attitude as absolutely amazing. Robbie has taken it all in his stride. I was the one who was shaking when he was initially signed up. When he was born and we found out about the cystic fibrosis, we expected to have to care for another child, but Robbie is absolutely amazing. He deals with it really well and is extremely disciplined. We are dedicated to making sure he achieves as much as he can. Robbie is determined that the condition won't stop him becoming a professional one day. He said, I love playing for the team that I support and I want to be a professional footballer when I grow up. Cystic fibrosis will not stop me doing that. Robbie, who lives with his dad, mum Kathy, and 12-year-old sister Charlie, was spotted by scouts from the academy whilst playing at his school, Addingham Primary. He has already spent a full season working with the academy's under-9 team, committed to a training schedule every Tuesday and Thursday evening with matches on the Sunday prior to signing a formal contract last month at the club's Home Valley Parade. He was actually diagnosed a week after his birth following a routine screening for cystic fibrosis. Early diagnosis has meant he was able to benefit from treatment straight away rather than waiting years for a diagnosis, by which time lung damage could have already occurred. Now, another interesting story in the grassroots segment is actually to do with Atletico Madrid and Southall FC. 27th of July 2015, aka today, a non-league West London club that attracts average home crowds of 50 has formed one of the game's unlikeliest partnerships with Spanish giants Atletico Madrid. This was actually brought to our attention. We actually spotted this via Samir Sawney of Motivate Sports and Fitness. Remember, Pitch Talk meets Samir Sawney of Motivate Sports and Fitness is on youtube.com/Pitch Talk in the Pitch Talk Meets playlist. So have a look at that. Very, very interesting. Some of what Samir said actually changed my view on football. But it is one of them ones. As I said, big shout out to Motivate Sports and Fitness at Motivate SF on Twitter and motivatesportsandfitness.com as well. Under the David and Goliath deal, which coaches from the 10-time La Liga champions who last won the title in 2014 will work with players from Southall Football Club, who finished mid-table in last season's Spartan South Midlands Division 1. When it was formed in 1871, Southall FC has not won any honours since it lifted the Middlesex Senior Charity Cup in 1984. It does not even own its own ground, playing home matches in nearby Perivale, similar to Ibis actually. don't actually own our own ground. We share it with Old Midonians. Atletico, who finished runners-up in the 2014 Champions League final, will provide support to Southall's ambition of developing British Asian footballers to take part in a number of football social inclusion projects in the local area. Visits by team players have also been promised. Last week, German Robles Gonzalez, Director General of the Atletico Madrid Foundation, visited Southall, where he met local dignitaries and club officials. Excuse me. Mr. Gonzalez said, "You might think this is a very odd marriage, but Atletico is a very forward-thinking club, and we work with different partners all over the world. I have had a wonderful time in Southall. It has been an extraordinary experience. We believe there is huge potential for football in this area, and I hope that our work is the start of something good." Along with many other leading European clubs, Atletico are trying to break into the Indian market and believe that uncovering a British Asian footballer might help them achieve this. The Spaniards already co-own Atletico de Kolkata, which plays in the Indian Super League, the country's richest football competition. The groundbreaking partnership came about through business links Southall FC owner Chana Singh Gill has in Spain. Mr. Gill said, "For a little club like ours to be connected with one of the world's most famous football names is amazing. Who would believe it? This is a fantastic opportunity for our players and coaches to learn from the best in the business." In May, Mr. Gill said in the Standard that his club was struggling to attract young Asian players, despite being in an area that has one of the highest populations of Asians in the country. He said some of Atletico's star names could be coming to Southall in the near future. If this doesn't get local youngsters interested in football, then I don't know what will. Now, one interesting thing in terms of Asian people getting into football, we have actually discussed this question before with Manisha Taylor on her Pitch Talk Meets. Big shout out to Manisha as well. And also we've discussed this area with her, with Nitin Ranpuria of B4U TV as well, where we do actually have a video on YouTube which is taken from some stuff that we did on a pitch talk on the road shoot, and it's called Asians in Football, What's Stopping Them? So have a look at that on youtube.com/pitch talk. But I think these grassroots stories right there, I mean, Jazzy Fizzle, what do you reckon of them before we throw the floor out to the Skypers as well?
I think they're very important. I think that they're quite prominent as well. I mean, the mere fact, as you say, that we have a deal between Southall FC and, of course, Atletico Madrid, absolutely massive deal. All right. Now, I know that Atletico have quite a few deals with teams across Madrid, across Spain, but to go across to England as well, and of course India, absolutely massive. And it just goes to show the global appeal of the game. And I think that only good can come of this, in terms of, you know, those players being able to meet players from the team every so often, and of course the opportunity for coaches, right? I think as long as the opportunity for the coaches goes both ways, i.e., you know, there'll be the odd coaching session from coaches over at Atletico for the Southall FC players, and if the Southall FC coach is able to go over to Spain, for example, as part of the deal, and see how it's done in terms of with the professionals, that can only be a good thing. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I think that there needs to be even more of that from the bigger teams. You know, it doesn't have to be at the level of a top league in the country. It could be that, you know, we're talking about maybe 1 or 2 divisions higher. But as we say, you know, those feeder club relations, shall we say, those are what build the clubs. Right, this is where all the future stars are. So if you don't start there, and you know, I've said this several times, and we, you know, you, me, and the G-Man have all said it. You know, if we don't start with grassroots, there is no future of the game. It really is that simple.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, they're doing a wonderful thing. It's an absolute coup for Southall FC, and congratulations to them, and congratulations to Atletico Madrid as well, because their willingness in all of this is absolutely huge, right? Because here's the bit. There are much more commercially appealing deals for them to be a part of that will make the club money and gain them popularity, so on and so forth, right? And this, for me, is a deal where that's not even part of the line of thinking. That doesn't come into it. This is purely football. And that's what makes this deal beautiful for me personally. In terms of the new stadium, I think that's what's needed. The fact that it's going to be green is absolutely fantastic to me personally, as a very green person. I think as long as, for example, there's community initiatives with it, so it's open to the wider community. For example, the local schools are able to have access to some of the pitches and multi-sport facilities. You know, there'd be initiatives with, again, the local schools and colleges in terms of the tech areas, so on and so forth, so they can go in there on projects and learn more about how it all works, so on and so forth. I think those kinds of things with that kind of venue, that's where you get the value out of the 100 million. So I think as long as those things take place, I have absolutely no qualms with it. The fact, of course, that it's green is absolutely huge. Eventually, it will start to support itself. So, for example, if they get, just to think about it, some solar panels in there. So, for example, the stadium lights, if they have lights, supported by solar panels and generators. So, you're able to take that solar energy, store it in a battery, and then when it's not so bright, for example, and there isn't as much natural light, you then kick to the generators from those same batteries that store the energy from the solar panels. I think that is absolutely huge in terms of reducing a carbon footprint of a football club. Absolutely huge. But I think, as I say, as long as the wider community is involved, I have no qualms with an initiative like that. If the local community isn't involved, and for example, children from local schools and colleges can't get involved, then I have a problem with it.
Yeah. No, definitely. What would you also on that note? What do you reckon of 8-year-old Robbie Murray? Cystic fibrosis, and he signed a contract with Bradford City again.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. In terms of raising awareness for cystic fibrosis, this will do that and then some. And of course, I have to send my heartfelt support to his family, especially his parents, right? Because they've stood by him the whole time. And what is really, really wonderful to hear from them is that absolute heartfelt belief that this condition isn't going to stop him. I think that's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's one of them ones. That little 8-year-old Robbie Murray just reminds me of that Rob Zombie tune. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. It's one of them ones. I love that attitude. That is the perfect attitude to have. It's like, you know what, even though I've been diagnosed with this debilitating condition, you still ain't gonna stop me living my dreams. And that's the kind of attitude that I think not only should everybody look up to and cherish and value, but it should be respected as well, and so young as well. And he's so young, and getting signed up with the team you support into their academy. It's one of them was he's already living his dream. He's 8 years old and he's already living his dream. So huge shout out to little Robbie Murray. Huge shout out to him. It's one of them ones, like when we read the story earlier, it was just a heartwarming story. Speaking of a heartwarming story as well, Atletico Madrid and Southall FC forming that partnership, I think is tremendous as well, because Southall's just down the road from me as it happens, but it is one of them ones where Asian people are so underrepresented in football. Black people are underrepresented in football in terms of management and coaching, but Asian people are completely underrepresented in every area of the game. So with Atletico Madrid and Southall FC, who Motivate Sports and Fitness have done a lot of work with Southall FC over the years as well. It's a case of it is fantastic to see, especially because it's trying to get people who otherwise probably wouldn't be involved in the game because of cultural barriers, among other things, like were mentioned within our Pitch Talk on the Road video, Asians in football, what's stopping them. It's a case of it's so inspirational to see these kind of links being formed. Okay, Atletico Madrid in part are looking to the future, not just of Asian footballers, but also they're looking to their own future as well and trying to penetrate a market which is potentially a huge one, but you're going to have to wrestle the eyes and ears of Asian people off of cricket. Because cricket obviously is huge in that area of Asia, so like India, Pakistan, those areas there. So it's one of, I mean, it just makes me cast my mind back to the Ad Hoc Films movie that they did, Sleeping Giant, an Indian football story, which myself and the G-Man actually were lucky enough to go to the premiere of. And that's where the G-Man actually met Tony Adams. So it's one of them ones where it's just so good to see. It's so good to see that these it's so good to see that these partnerships are being forged. I mean the Forest Green development, as you said, Jezzy, I mean, it's brilliant because that kind of thing to do with green stuff, green energy and solar power and that, it'll end up paying for itself and it'll end up powering itself, most importantly. I mean,
and as I say, then you have potentially jobs for local people in terms of the maintenance, right? Because that's going to be needed all the year round. And as I say, provided that the local community can get involved in it and learn more about green energy, for example, that means that the whole area can potentially start looking at going green in, accordance with what's happening at that particular facility. And in terms of, as I say, education about green energy, so on and so forth, this is where the local schools and colleges have a chance to get involved as well in terms of educating the young people. So as I say, as long as all of those entities are involved, and I think the council will play a huge role in that as well. So if they can have that kind of vision, for example, where it's a central hub for the community in terms of sport, right? So there's lots of community events based there. As I say, there'll be lots of schools and colleges taking part in terms of learning about green energy. And then, of course, you have all of the sports analytics as well. So you could have them involved in that area as well in terms of work experience, so on and so forth, right? It would be a hub that would continue to give back to the local community.
Yeah. And I think, and for me, it's one of them ones. That's one of the most important things, that it's not, this is not a 100 million. This is where a lot of the comments when this article was first posted out, a lot of people were like, oh, that's a surprise, 100 million for a football club. It's like, no, this is not for a football club. This is actually like Hackney Wick FC. It is a community initiative which just so happens to have football tied into it. I mean, it's one of them was Forest Green that obviously are going to get a new stadium out of it, but there's so much more. I mean, a £100 million sports facility. So you're going to see state-of-the-art sporting facilities, training fields, 4G pitches, multidisciplinary sporting facilities, and a sports science hub. So it's one of them ones. That's where it's going to be interesting. I said it's one of them ones. It's not just for the football club; it's for the area. And that's what a lot of people miss in terms of grassroots team. That always happens. And I mean, I just want to throw to Mike Hardiman for a second, because you said something quite interesting about Stevenage, haven't you?
Yeah, there's the Stevenage Foundation, which is linked with the football club, and that's basically every sort of pre-season, sort of July, August sort of time, there's a group of about 15, 16 volunteers that go to Gambia, and they do a lot of stuff over in Gambia. They do like a lot of kind of helping them in local homes and schools and stuff like that. So it's probably quite a similar kind of thing as well, really.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's one thing I do like is that clubs giving back, and I think that's so important. It's so important to keep. It's so important to keep the game giving back, especially from the top giving back. But the one thing that actually, without going CWO on it, the one thing that actually does kind of concern me a little is that Atletico Madrid had to come over from Spain and strike up a partnership with Southall FC. Why not Brentford? Why not Chelsea? Why not Arsenal? Why not Liverpool, Man United? Why not those? Why didn't they take that opportunity? That's the one thing that kind of concerns me. I said I don't want to pour cold water on this because it's a fantastic initiative. These are three fantastic things within the grassroots game, and I don't mean to pour cold water on it, but I just want to play devil's advocate for a second and just think, why couldn't it have been a local club from around here? Brentford is very close to Southall. It's probably the nearest professional club. You got QPR who are quite near as well. Why couldn't it have been them to have struck up the partnership with Southall FC? I mean, of course, there are things. There are other things within that. There are other things kind of within this kind of thing, like Chana Singil. Obviously, the partnership came about through business links that the Southall owner Chana Singil has in Spain, but it just I'm just wondering if some of the London clubs might have missed a trick in terms of if they didn't offer to strike up this kind of partnership. That's me anyway. I'm just playing pure devil's advocate. So one of them was. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. But I think all three of these stories are fantastic. So one of them was. That's where I'm going. But you know what? Because we are everyday people. We're Pitch Talk family. PT Live. Oh yeah, PT Live. I don't mean to butcher a classic, but I just did. So, with that curveball right down Mill Strike One in mind, it is actually time to switch segments. We are going to round out the show with quite a few.
What's up, brother?
Let's roll into some what's up with that moment. And you know what? Where we are going to start. Oh, you know what? This story did actually crack me up today. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulk Hogan gets duped in front of you, brother? You know what? Yeah. Wrestler Hulk Hogan duped by pranksters on Twitter pretending to be famous footballers. This is not the first time this has happened to Hulk Hogan, but this is the funniest time. Hulk fan 17 at War Desperados, he got retweeted by Hulk Hogan. He said, I am Ivorian and I love you, brother. You're not a racist. You are the best. Don't let the media get to you. He was posted as a Hulk fan, but in his profile picture and in the picture attached, he's got a picture of Kolo Touré at home looking into a camera, and it's like, oh no. It's like, oh no.
Wait, was this picture from when Kolo was posing as that used car salesman?
The link is in the Skype chat. Have a look at that. Because I'm sorry, that is too funny. You know what? Hulk Hogan has been duped by pranksters on Twitter, posting messages of support attached to images of professional footballers. The wrestler and TV personality, whose real name is Terry Bollea, was sacked by World Wrestling Entertainment WWE on Friday after an allegedly racist video surfaced where he was caught using certain derogatory words. It was recorded in 2007, actually. But the 61-year-old retweeted several posts from pranksters today who sent in messages of support attached with photos that Hogan clearly believed to be genuine. In reality, many of the people pictured were Premier League stars past and present, including Rio Ferdinand, Martin Keown, Romelu Lukaku, and Danny Welbeck. One thing's for sure, Hulk Hogan clearly isn't a Premier League fan. One particular guy at WHU_Bullcott tweeted Hulk Hogan, "This is me and my mate. We know you're not racist and support you, Hulk." And he's posted a picture of Romelu Lukaku. So he's posted as Lukaku.
So funny.
It gets worse because a Twitter profile called Red is in the Blood at I don't like Spurs said, "Hi at Hulk Hogan, me and my dad are fully behind you. Keep your head up through these horrid times. #Team Hogan." And the picture is of Martin Keown and Matthew Flamini.
that one is funny. That one is really funny.
So living.
I saw that when I was bedding up. I was like, no way.
It is
being my dad.
So liberties. It is so liberties. But Monkey D Jiggy on Twitter, aka at Jackel_Ramzilla, said, "At Hulk Hogan, everybody says stuff from time to time. Don't forget, me and my dad will always have your back, brother." And it's a picture of Rio Ferdinand and Drake.
So funny.
So liberty. Another one at WHU_Sam. That's such a liberty. This is a picture of me and my mates. We know you're not racist. Ignore the press and haters, brother. Sent to Hulk Hogan. And it's Adrian and Mauro Zarate in the picture with a couple of other youngsters. So dumb. And it is so stupid. And there was the Touré one that we said earlier as well. And we actually felt like getting in on this, and I think we might have sent one earlier with this Chelsea family, and we put that picture of Felipe Luis, Diego Costa, and Fabregas. But no, it was one of them ones where people are liberties. That is liberties, taking advantage of a situation. But you know what? It is one of them where I was like, that is hilarious. I think that stuff is. Jesse, what do you reckon of this, man? That's the.
No, I have to agree. Like, some of these people on social media, funny, absolutely funny.
So bad.
Obviously, like, you know, it does kind of make light of Hulk Hogan's situation and his recent, shall we say, termination of contract from the WWE, but absolutely hilarious. I mean, seriously, dude, if the account isn't verified as being the person, right, generally it means it's not the person. So you know, the same way, like I think his account is verified as being him. You know, only go with verified accounts. It's as simple as that. But the mere fact that, you know, you thought that some of them were real, God bless you, Hulkster. I mean, I think now it's time for me to give you some advice and say, when tweeting, make sure you say your prayers and take your vitamins. Okay,
and check your verified accounts, brother.
Otherwise, you may end up getting confused, thinking that actual footballing stars are treating you with their support of you and saying that they are #Team Hogan. So in the meantime, you know what you've got to do, brother.
you gotta eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and keep an eye on your hashtags, brother.
And just be sure to follow and respond to verified accounts.
And also respond to Pitch Talk, brother. Pitch Talk is Team Hogan, brother. No, I'm kidding. There is a brilliant meme in regards to Hulk Hogan going around because he's been deleted apparently off the WWE and TNA websites for
Yes, he has.
that video from 7 years ago. But it's one of them ones. There's a brilliant meme where it's like, never forget that iconic moment when Andre the Giant tripped at WrestleMania 3, and like someone's photoshopped Hogan out. So it looks like Andre's just diving to the floor. I'll send you it later. It's so liberties. So liberties, man. So there's another one about, that guy Axelmania. Was it? Oh, remember that moment when Axelmania time walked back to 96 and formed the NWO? Dumb. Oh, that's.
What, they put Axelmania in it instead?
Yeah, it's so dumb. I don't know why that guy's called Curtis Axel. We know he's Curtis Hennig. He's Kurt Hennig's son. Anyway, that's a different issue. Anyway, but no, that's the liberty. Speaking of what's up with that, actually, and if the Skypers want to jump in, please let us know because we love these. We've got a few more actually. Now, nature has been kind of mucking around with football over the weekend. 24th of July 2015, Aberdeen FC has told fans of the challenges it faces in dealing with seagulls that mob Pittodrie Stadium on match days. Supporters have been complaining to the club about the birds swooping down on people in the stands during games. In a statement on its website, Aberdeen FC said it was an ongoing issue that it's been trying to tackle. While goals are discouraged from setting up home at Pittodrie, AFC said it could not control nearby nest sites. For a number of years, Ness and X found that the football ground had been destroyed under license. A hawk is flown down at the football ground during the week and an hour before the stadium's doors open on match days. Raw. But Aberdeen said the bird of prey could not be flown during games. The club said currently Aberdeen FC has no nesting in and around the actual stadium buildings. However, we cannot control this out of our boundary, and birds are nesting in and around the flats around the stadium. Seagulls are very intelligent birds and will always gather where a large crowd of people are and where food is consumed. So we would urge all fans to take care and use the bins provided for unwanted food, which will assist in controlling the seagulls. It added Aberdeen FC will do all we can to combat this issue and ensure the match day experience is a positive one for Dom's supporters. Now, if you think that's bad, 26th of July 2015, yesterday, a football match was delayed at Oldham Athletic on Saturday after unwanted visitors swarmed around the goalposts. A queen bee had attached herself to one of the posts, causing the penalty area to become a hive of activity. The referee suspended the start of the friendly with Blackburn Rovers until some beekeepers arrived. The club tweeted, "The B team has just left the pitch," while Blackburn's Twitter feed read, "Unbelievable scenes here." The club spokesman said, "We are very grateful to the local bee society who arranged for a beekeeper to come along and clear the bees." The sting in the tail for Oldham was that Blackburn Rovers won the game 2-0. That's terrible. That's terrible. Oh my god. A swarm of bees. If you see the post, it was literally taken over by bees. It looked insane. Like, imagine being a keeper and going near that. I was talking about this with a couple of friends yesterday, Stephen Halliday and Mark Gould, aka El Marquez, aka El Cluster, but that's a different story. We were talking about this yesterday, and Mark was like, "Boy, I would not feel safe being a goalkeeper around them bees, because like if you go anywhere near the queen bee, boy, you're gonna get stung potentially by a good 500 bees. That could kill you." Be one of them ones, because they will protect their queen. Anywhere the queen goes, they go. Oh man, what do you reckon of these, Jesse? And does anyone else?
Well, I have to agree with El Marquez, aka El Cluster. I wouldn't feel safe there. straight up. And you know what? I wouldn't want to be the guy that kicked the ball that hit the Queen.
Well, I wouldn't mind being the guy who kicked the ball because it'd be the guy nearest, so aka the goalkeeper, who's getting stung because the bees would think it was him.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, they can see pretty well, right? So some of them may pick up on this. It's the other guy, and as I say, make a beeline. Yeah, I went there and go after him.
Be that guy.
You know, but yeah,
I mean, you better be good to yourself.
It was a good thing that beekeeper was called, and that the local bee society were able to get involved. Because I say, in terms of safe playing conditions, you know, those weren't it. And obviously, we don't want to see any harm come to the bees, because as far as I understand it, the bees are actually needing a little bit of help now, and need to be protected. So, you know, I think it was good all the way around. Obviously, the sad thing, Blackburn win 2-0.
The sting in the tail.
You know, shout out to the writers of that piece as well for all of those.
What, the B scripted ad-libs?
Yeah. Well done to them for crowbarring so many in. I didn't think it was possible, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, you couldn't believe it, yeah.
I still don't believe it, no.
Scripted ad-libs. Bloody scripted ad-libs. I just love it, man. That stuff's funny. Oh my! But you know what? It is one of them ones where, like, we do actually have another what's up with that moment. And the last what's up with that moment that we got, Bashley sacked manager David Stride for poor preseason from 27th of July 2015 today. A non-league manager has been sacked for a poor run of preseason results and lack of player signings. Yes, former Chelsea defender David Stride had been in charge of Southern League Bashley for just 40 days. He's lasted more than 2 Leeds managers, I swear. Anyway, the New Forest club's newly appointed board have named former manager Steve Riley as Stride's replacement. It's absolute codswallop. What a way of putting it. It's absolute codswallop. The club already had someone in mind to replace me, but waited 2 weeks before telling me. Bashley have lost all 4 of their preseason friendlies so far, failing to score a goal and conceding 8. Stride, who's 57, had only been in charge for 2 of those matches. We made a tough decision to change things around now rather than the possibility of having more upheaval during the season, Chairman Tim Allen said. Stride made 35 appearances for Chelsea between 78 and 1980, and also played for Leyton Orient and Millwall in the 1980s. I wonder if he played alongside John Sitton. Might research that. He was appointed by Bashley on June 17th, but 5.5 weeks later, and after a change of club chairman, he's out of work. I've got no hard feelings, but sadly the club weren't man enough to tell me earlier, Stride added. I was given the guarantee I'd be left alone for a season to take sole charge of football matters, but I'm gone after just 2 games. Wow. That's Leeds United hilarious right there. You know what? Bashley, for sacking Stride after 2 games, you deserve the rating of
-5 stars.
And also, Mr. Stride must be thinking to the Bashley higher ups.
If I wanted crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
He must be thinking that, and also thinking,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
He must be thinking that, because that is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. And Mike Hardiman has actually just answered the question. Yeah, he did play alongside Sits. Yeah, because the timelines actually work. But it is one of them ones. By the way, Pitch Talk meets John Sitton is on youtube.com/Pitch Talk. Have a look at that. But to sack a manager after 2 games, that is Leeds United -5 stars. Comic hilarity, tragically hilarious stuff. It really is. With all due respect to Leeds United, but we were talking about Neil Redfern a week ago. But what's up with that? I'm at a loss for words on this. Jazzy, you want to jump in?
I don't have many words to say about this, but what I will say is it's not even 2 official games. That's not it.
It's pre-season.
This is it. That is the most ridiculous thing. It is pre-season. Pre-season.
In the words of Jim Cornette, it's an effing circus.
So for me, I really don't understand how that actually works. And a lack of signings. Surely, on account of there being, I don't know, let's think about this, a lack of money, he's got to look at the talent that's already there. It's not as if he's got like a 300 million war chest. You know, if he's got a 300 million war chest and doesn't spend a penny, then I could arguably say, okay, right? You're probably right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that. And it was 2 pre-season games.
Yeah.
Pre-season. Right? He's going to need at least 5, if not 6, to work out what his best starting 11 is.
Exactly, especially as he's only been in charge for 2 games. It's like, you've been in charge for 2 games. How are you going to get any sort of momentum going? It's stupid. It really is. Football, an odd sport. That's all I can say. It's an odd sport. To sack someone after 2 games, well, minds were already made up, weren't they? Because essentially it is.
Hey, he stuck his legs! He stuck his legs! Hey, he stuck his legs! He stuck his legs! He stuck his legs! 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 Hey, he stuck his legs! He stuck his legs!
It really is a disgrace to sack someone that quickly. It's just stupid. Doesn't even make sense. That's the worst thing. I mean, Russ Vernon, you going to jump in before we finish?
Yes, I am, Liam, because I've just been listening to that where he's got sacked after 2 games. And my majority of Leeds United managers last season lasted 6 games, 4 more games than him. And they lasted the full pre-season. So for that club, start their manager after just 2 games and the lack of resource in pre-season. I think, Liam, you need to queue it up because they deserve a rating of -5 stars from me, Liam.
You know, Leeds managers lasting 6 games and getting a full pre-season is nothing to be proud of either. It's nothing to be proud of. They lost in 4 more games. 4 more games. That's not something to be proud. That's like being the most popular man in prison. It's not something to be proud of.
But I think Rosler, because he's already said Chillin's actually said that he's going to give Rosler time. Rosler's got to say on who comes into the club and who leaves the club this summer. I think Rosler could be here at Leeds. Mark my words, if you run it again in the season back to 27th of July 2015, Rosler will still be in charge of Leeds at the start of 2016. Mark my words.
Jesse Fizzle, let's mark this down as kind of meeting minutes. Monday, 27th of July 2015. Russ said that. And
Russ said a bunch of hot mess. And what I will also say is this, right? Be prepared to eat those words, right? And here's the thing. We got some buffalo sauce. We got some Tabasco sauce. You can even have barbecue sauce, or my personal favorite, a little bit of Tommy K.
Oh, and we
it's
got
entirely
some
up to
we
you.
got some Dunn's River all-purpose seasoning there as well, baby. Oh my! Oh,
yeah, I like that. Russ has nothing to say after that. Thank you very much. Good night.
There is nothing to say. There legitimately is nothing to say. But it is one of them ones where we shall see. We shall see. Because when this story first came up, it was a case of
tell me I did not just see that.
But then you had Dan Petrescu playing it the other way around. Yeah, 1 game. I won something. Good night. I'm leaving. I'm done. Suck it. I'm done. Oh, madness. Utter madness. But you know what? It is about that time in the show for us to start vacating the place with a haste. It is one of them. Was just as that comes to an end. Pitch Talk done started something. You can talk football every Monday night. Pitch Talk done started something. Yeah, it's time. It's time to start ending because we got to say.
Hi, I'm John Sitton and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glenmnet Southall Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of MLS FC. I'm Samir Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting Angell, the G-Man, and Jesse Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website to find out about everything Pitch Talk. Remember, 07535 804 466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your view. If you text, leave your name at the end of the text so we can give you a big time shout out. Also, youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all the latest videos, including the video that was released earlier today, Monday, 27th of July, 2015. Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC. Big shout outs to Hackney Wick FC. www.hackneywickfc.com, at Hackney Wick FC on Twitter and Facebook. You can find Hackney Wick FC as well. Big time shout outs to at Beautiful Game 15 on Twitter. Beautiful Game 2015.blogspot.co.uk, and also on Facebook, Two Men in Search of the Beautiful Game. That's Daniel Magna and Tom Sparks. Big shout outs to them too. They were the ones who got us in touch with Hackney Wick FC in the first place. Myself, Jesse Fizzle and the G-Man, absolute pleasure being down at Mabley Green. Speaking of youtube.com/Pitch Talk, we are at the SSE FA Women's FA Cup final on Saturday. We will be there in Wembley, and we'll be on Wembley Way pre-match and post-match as well. Come and find us. We're going to be for a bit. We're going to be with Girls on the Ball as well. Sophie and Rachel of Girls on the Ball, and of course, hopefully as well, Scotty the Rabbit. It is going to be one of them ones. Come and find us on Wembley Way on Saturday. Also, Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become fan, become friend, become member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We're working so hard to create. Pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to blogs. We're gonna have some news on a new blog coming soon. A new roundup and a new blog coming soon. So we've got announcements to make. Speaking of announcements, pitchtalk@gmail.com is where you need to email your questions for Pitch Talk meets Darrell David. Kieran Riley has already got questions in. PT family, we want your questions for Darrell David. Email them to pitchtalk@gmail.com. The AFA Lonsar member and also the chairman of the AFA Amateur Football Alliance Youth Council, Mr. Darrell David, will be sitting down with us very, very soon. So email your questions over sharpish. Also, it is one of them on twitter.com/Pitch Talk or at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Remember, we're on Pitch Talk Live on Google Plus as well. Add us to your circles. We're on Instagram at Pitch Talk as well. So with big shout outs to LJA Productions, big shout outs to Apparently Rich, also big shout outs to GLG as well, GLG Limited. Also JE Entertainment, because the Jazzy Fizzle Sizzle Tour is coming to a town near you in 2016, baby.
That's it. Make sure you get those tickets. Contact GLG and of course JE Productions.
It's one of them ones. Big shout outs to Jennifer Evans. Big shout outs to Lauren Dugan, who was tuned in today. Big shout outs to Bobby Kasanga, the founder of Hackney Wick FC. Big shout outs to Rana Brightman as well.
AKA Rana Banana.
Exactly. Big time shout outs to Tom Sparks, Daniel Magna. Big shout outs to Russ Vernon, Kieran Riley. Also, big shout outs to Tom Wood as well, Ryan Sonley, and everybody else. All of these silent listeners, big shout outs to you too. My. It's been fantastic. And yeah, special shout out to Mr. Paul Green of Rotherham United, who we've been alerted was listening. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Spread the word, everybody. We need everybody to spread the word. Remember, we podcast on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio. Give us a rating, give us a comment and a review. It all helps. Spread the word about your Monday night footballing fix. Join us. Join the revolution. Big shout outs to Ibis Football Club, Ibis FC. Big shout outs also to Parkgate FC as well. Big time shout outs, especially as I said, to Hackney Wick FC. Brand new side, and they are on the rise. It is one of those. Big shout outs to Alexandra Park FC as well. I have been Straight Shooting LJA.
And as always, I've been Jazzy Fizzle.
The G-Man sends his regards. He couldn't be here, unfortunately, this week, but he says he will be back next week. So from myself, Straight Shooting LJA.
And of course, from me, Jazzy Fizzle.
The Mr. Sizzle, aka Mr. Sizzle. We got to say thank you very much, everybody. Good night.